The night sky of the magic city is pierced by countless neon lights. Towering skyscrapers occupy the sky like giant beasts. On the busy streets, luxury cars roar past, and pedestrians chase the illusory prosperity in a dream. Who would have thought that under this reinforced concrete jungle, the smell of demons is quietly spreading? They wear human skin, lurk in high-end clubs and underground passages, and use technology to devour the essence of ignorant mortals. Only the hidden immortal cultivator, a genius like Chu Tian, can hold the heavenly messenger scroll and maintain this fragile balance. Chu Tian stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window of a penthouse apartment in Pudong, overlooking the dimly lit city below. His figure was slender and his face was as handsome as a knife, but it was covered by an ordinary gray sweater. He looked like an urban youth in his early 20s. An ancient jade scroll slowly unfolded in his hand, emitting a faint blue light that reflected in his deep eyes. On the scroll, blood-red runes squirmed like living creatures. A high-level demon appears in the world and is hiding in the abandoned steel factory in the city center. Kill it quickly, otherwise the city will become a river of blood. Chu Tian frowned slightly. The summons of the scroll was never easy. This time the target is a high-level monster. If he is alone, he will end up in despair if he is not careful. After living in seclusion in the demonic city for 3 years, he had killed countless low-level monsters, but he had never faced a monster of this level. In the apartment, the air was filled with the faint fragrance of sandalwood, which was the aftertaste of his spiritual formation used to suppress the evil spirit. He took a deep breath, turned his palm, and a phantom technique seal quietly took shape. The aura around him instantly converged and he transformed into a mortal, even his pulse beat was imitated perfectly. Humph, you monsters think technology can protect you? Tonight, I will let you experience the feeling of flying swords. Chu Tian murmured to himself, and the 3-inch flying sword in his sleeves buzzed, disappeared into the void, and the remote control navigation locked the target. He grabbed a windbreaker, strode out of the apartment, took the elevator straight to the underground garage, and drove an inconspicuous black SUV into the night. The abandoned steel factory in the city center has long been eroded by time and turned into ruins. The rusty factory building stands in the mist-shrouded open space, surrounded by a danger, no entry, barbed wire fence. Ordinary people passing by occasionally regard it as a chronic urban disease. Chu Tian parked the car 100 meters away, jumped over the iron fence, and sneaked in like a ghost. The air was filled with the pungent smell of mold and rot mixed with the sourness of metal rust. The gravel underfoot made a clacking sound, and the low howling of wild dogs could be heard faintly in the distance. The moonlight casts mottled light and shadow through the dilapidated roofs, making the ruins eerie and terrifying. He followed the scroll's guidance and went deep into the main factory. Suddenly, in the shadows ahead, a low gasping sound sounded. Chu Tian's eyes flashed, and he hid in a corner and caught a glimpse of a low-level monster, a giant rotting rat, half a man tall, with tangled black hair all over its body, claws as sharp as hooks, and green pus dripping from its mouth, and it was rushing towards a shrinking figure. That's a policewoman. Ye Zhi, her police rank badge flashed in the moonlight, her pistol was empty and the magazines were scattered on the floor. Her uniform was torn, her shoulders were bloody, her face was as pale as paper, and sweat mixed with blood slid down her forehead. The giant rat monster let out a weird jijia laugh, and the sound was like nails scraping iron, full of viciousness. Little bitch, your gun can't control me. Tonight, I will suck all your energy. Ye Zhi gritted her teeth and retreated against the wall, raising the only baton in her hand tremblingly. Her heart was beating wildly, and the screams of her colleagues echoed in her ears. It was a routine patrol tonight, but she ran into these mutated beasts. Damn, why can't the gun penetrate it? The communication device is broken. She thought desperately, as the smell of the giant rat assaulted her nostrils, and its claws were raised high, threatening to tear her throat apart. At this critical moment, a cold light burst out from the void. There was a muffled sound of thuft, and the flying sword penetrated the giant rat monster's head like lightning, from the back of the head to the forehead. Green blood spattered, and the monster's huge body stiffened for a moment, then collapsed to the ground. After a few twitches, it turned into a puddle of black water, exuding the pungent smell of rotting corpses. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes widened and her pupils shrank violently. She rubbed her eyes, thinking she was hallucinating. Where did that sword come from? There was no one around, but the sword was suspended in midair. The blade dripped blood and buzzed continuously. It circled around like a spirit, then suddenly flew back into the shadows and disappeared. She stood up panting, her voice trembling. Who is there? Chu Tian slowly walked out from the corner, his phantom technique relaxed slightly, revealing his true colors. His eyes were indifferent, looking down at the black water residue on the ground. It's just a low-level rat demon, not worth mentioning. As he waved his hand, the flying sword loomed, the sword body as clean as new, without any trace of blood. Ye Zhi's mind exploded with a buzz. She is an elite member of the Magic City Police Department. She has seen countless bloody gun battles, but she has never witnessed such a miracle. That sword can kill monsters automatically. Her legs were weak and she could barely support the wall. Her gaze turned from shock to awe as she stared at Chu Tian. Who are you? How could that sword be possible? That monster just now couldn't even be penetrated by bullets. It could tear apart a tank with one swing of its claws. You can just... Her voice became higher and higher, her chest rose and fell violently, and her face was a mixture of fear and admiration. The surrounding ruins seemed to be still, and the sound of the wind blowing through the iron sheets became the background. She took a step forward and grabbed Chu Tian's sleeve. Tell me, what is this? Superpower? Or alien technology? What on earth are those monsters? Chu Tian sighed softly, shook off her hand, and glanced at the wound on her shoulder. The flesh and blood were twisted, and it was impossible for a mortal to survive. Mortals don't need to know. Go away, this is not the place you should be. His tone was like mountain ice and snow, full of contempt. To him, these mortal powers are nothing but ants, and cannot even deal with the demon scraps. Ye Zhi did not retreat, but straightened her back, with stubborn fire igniting in her eyes. I am a policeman. All my teammates died tonight, just because of these ghosts. Do you think killing it with a sword will shut me up? There have been frequent disappearances in the city recently, and the gang boss died suddenly and inexplicably. It took me 3 months of investigation before I found these ruins. If you are a hero, tell me the truth. I, Ye Zhi, swear that I will never leak secrets. Chu Tian sneered, and the scroll in his sleeve felt slightly hot. He didn't mean to be meddlesome, but this woman was smart and brave, which was somewhat desirable. Just as he was hesitating, the jade scroll around his waist suddenly burst into bright golden light. The light surged out like a tide, illuminating the entire factory, and the runes danced wildly. Warning. The rat demon is just a bait, and the high-level demon king's lair is exposed. The third underground floor, the demonic energy is soaring. Kill it quickly, otherwise the demon king will break the seal and the whole city will be transformed into prison. The sound of the scroll went straight into my mind, along with the roar coming from the ground. The entire ruins shook violently, green demonic mist came out of countless cracks, and the smell was astounding. Ye Zhi screamed and staggered back. Earthquake? No, something is moving underneath. Chu Tian's pupils shrank suddenly, the flying sword came out of its sheath with a clang, and the sword energy was flowing freely. He grabbed Ye Zhi and spoke in a rare serious tone. The crisis is escalating. If you want to survive, just follow me. In the distance, deep in the factory, a pair of giant blood-red eyes slowly opened. The demon king's roar shattered the iron beams, and gravel fell like rain. The rubble poured down like a torrential rain, hitting the rusty iron beams and making a deafening metal collision sound. The roar in the ground is getting closer and closer, like thousands of evil spirits roaring, and green demonic mist spurts out from the cracks, mixed with the stench of rotting corpses, straight into the nose, making people's stomachs turn. Ye Zhi's face turned pale, and the pain on her shoulder was like tearing. She grabbed Chu Tian's arm tightly, and her nails dug into his windbreaker. What the hell is this place? We have to run. Chu Tian's eyes were as sharp as a hawk, and the flying sword circled in his palm. The sword buzzed like a swarm of bees, emitting a faint cold light. He shouted in a low voice, "Shut up." With a wave of one hand, the phantom technique expanded instantly, and an invisible aura enveloped the two of them, rippling like water waves and deflecting the flying gravel. The demon mist hit his face, but was blocked by the spirit shield 3 feet away. He could only slap it feebly, making a sizzling, corrosive sound. He dragged Ye Zhi, stepping on the gravel, retreating like a ghost, shuttled between the collapsed iron frames, and the ground trembled slightly with every step he took. In the distance, those giant blood-red eyes flashed in the darkness, accompanied by a deep laughter. "Jia Jia, you little immortal cultivator, how dare you spoil this king's good deeds." The demon king's aura was like a mountain pressing over the top, the air was distorted, and the walls of the factory were cracked. But Chu Tian had no time to fight, and the warning from the scroll burned his heart. The high-level demon king could not be defeated by him alone, and he needed to outsmart him. He suddenly jumped up, pointed his toes on the broken beam, and led Ye Zhi out of the barbed wire fence. The SUV engine roared, the tires screeched against the ground, and he instantly jumped into the night. In the car, Ye Zhi lay paralyzed in the passenger seat, panting like a bellows, her uniform soaked with sweat and stained with blood. She stared at the side of Chu Tian's face, her voice trembling. "You, who are you? That sword is alive. And the fog, monster eyes, oh my God, am I not dreaming?" Her beautiful eyes widened, and her chest heaved, mixed with fear and fanaticism. Chu Tian looked forward, holding the steering wheel firmly with both hands, and said in a calm tone, "Unknown people. Those are demons, mortals have no clue. I will send you to the hospital, the wound will be treated, and forget about tonight." He caught a glimpse of her shoulder and threw out a pill. It was crystal clear and exuded the fragrance of grass and trees. "Take it, it will stop bleeding and promote muscle growth." Ye Zhi took it, hesitated for a moment, and swallowed it in his mouth. The elixir melted in the mouth, and a warm current spread throughout the body. The wound closed at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the pain subsided. She gasped, her fingers touching the unscarred skin, her pupils dilated. "This, elixir. Impossible." Her voice was high-pitched, full of disbelief, and she turned to stare at Chu Tian. "You are definitely not an ordinary person. The disappearances in the Magic City and the violent gang deaths were all caused by these monsters. I have been investigating for 3 months, and all my teammates were wiped out tonight. If you have the ability, help me. I am a policeman, I can't just let it go." Chu Tian frowned slightly, the scroll was slightly hot in his arms, and the runes were faintly guiding. He originally wanted to go it alone, but this woman is as stubborn as an ox and is resourceful and brave, so she might be able to help him. Mortals are beyond their ability. But if you get in the way, I will abandon you like a corpse. The car turned into the city, the neon lights were dazzling, and the drunken laughter and curses of passers-by drifted in from the window. Half an hour later, the lights of the Magic City police station were brightly lit, and the bitter smell of coffee and tobacco filled the air. Ye Zhi pushed open the door, her shoulder was no longer seriously injured, and although her uniform was in tatters, she was in high spirits. She dragged Chu Tian straight to the conference room, where more than a dozen police officers were sitting around, their faces ashen, and bloody reports and photos were scattered on the table. The corpses of her teammates were mutilated, and the wounds were like the bites of wild beasts. Deputy Director Zhao Taizhan is in his early 50s, with a beer belly holding up his police uniform, a sinewy face, and small eyes narrow to slits. He was banging the table and roaring, "Trash! The patrol team has been wiped out, what kind of mutated beast can you make up for me? What about the security of the Magic City? Ye Zhi, you are late again, and you are still alive and kicking after being injured like this, say. What's going on?" His voice was like thunder, and spittle flew everywhere. The police around them lowered their heads and remained silent, and someone peeked at Ye Zhi, their eyes full of doubts. Ye Zhi stood up and stepped forward. Deputy Director, that's not a beast, it's a demon, a monster. Bullets can't penetrate it, and its claws can tear apart tanks. But I met him. She pointed at Chu Tian and spoke passionately, this Mr. Chu saved me and killed that beast with one sword. He has a way to solve it. The conference room fell silent for an instant, and all eyes were directed at Chu Tian. He was wearing a gray sweatshirt, with his hands in his pockets, standing at the door like a passerby, expressionless. Zhao Taizhan was stunned for a moment, then burst out laughing, his fat body trembling, ha ha ha. Charlatan. Ye Zhi, are you out of your mind? Kill monsters with one sword? In what age are you still playing martial arts? Boy, which circus are you from? Get out. The police station doesn't support idlers. He waved his hands like flies to shoo away, the police around him laughed, and someone whispered, look at his coward, he's just a liar. Captain Yi failed this time, and the deputy bureau got angry. Ye Zhi's face turned red, deputy. Listen to me, that sword can fly. It kills monsters automatically without even getting any blood. Her voice was urgent, her fists were clenched, and tears were shining in her eyes. Chu Tian's eyes were slightly cold, and the sarcasm of the common people and powerful people was like the buzzing of mosquitoes, not worth a moment's notice. But the scroll crisis is imminent, and he needs information from the police station. He stepped forward slowly and said calmly, don't believe it? Try it. With a flick of his sleeve robe, the 3-inch flying sword slipped out quietly and disappeared into the void without anyone noticing. Zhao Taizhan snorted coldly, try. Try your uncle. Come on, throw them out. 2 strong policemen pounced on him, their iron arms like pincers. But at this moment, there was a soft sound of buzz dash, and sparks suddenly burst out from the steel plate wall next to the iron door of the conference room. The sword light was like lightning, cutting invisibly, and the half-meter thick steel plate cracked straight with a sizzling sound like tofu, and slid in half from the middle. The fracture was as smooth as a mirror, and the heat rose, making a click sound of metal cooling. The whole place was dead silent. Zhao Tieshan's laughter stopped suddenly. His small eyes were as wide as copper bells, his mouth opened in an O shape, and the fat on his chin kept shaking. What the hell is going on? The steel plate cracked on its own. He rushed to the fracture, touched it with his fat hands, and withdrew with an ouch. His face turned from red to white, and beads of sweat rolled down. Impossible, laser. Alien. Boy, you, what did you use to cut it? The police around were screaming, and some people rubbed their eyes and screamed, sword. There was light in the air just now. Oh my God, God. A young police officer knelt down with weak legs and murmured, flying sword, a living sword. Ye Zhi's eyes shone with admiration, you see it. Deputy Bureau, this is the truth. Mr. Chu is a master and can save the Devil's City. Chu Tian withdrew the flying sword and concealed it in his sleeve. His tone was still indifferent, it's a little trick. The demon's lair is on the 3rd floor underground of the steel factory, and the demonic energy is soaring. You mortals, just join in the fun. He glanced at Zhao Taizhan with contempt, his eyes were like looking down at ants, which made the deputy bureau's heart tremble. The majesty just now was gone, only trembling remained. My hero, spare my life. The police station listens to you. The engine roared outside the door, a low-key silver car stopped, and Han Shao jumped out of the car. He has a lean figure, a heroic look on his brows, and his aura of cultivating immortality is hidden under his black jacket. Seeing Chu Tian, he held up his hands, senior brother. The scroll summons me, and I'm here at Starry Night. Senior sister Su Nuan has sent the message, the Demon King is no small matter. Han Shao glanced at everyone and smiled lightly, mortals, don't panic, we, the secluded immortal cultivators, have our own sea-fixing needle. Ye Zhi's eyes lit up, another one. Zhao Taizhan slumped down on his chair and murmured, cultivation of immortals, there really are immortals. The policeman whispered in awe. The three of them moved to the secret room, and the scrolls were spread out on the table, with a faint golden light. Chu Tian pointed at the runes, high-level demon king, 3 floors underground. The precise lair needs to be locked. Han Shao nodded, and the seals on his palms formed a unhidden curse. He tapped the scroll with his fingers, and the blood-red runes swam like living snakes. Suddenly, a three-dimensional map appeared, the underground network of the magic city, with the steel factory leading directly to the high-rise buildings in the city center. The red dot flashed, the lair is here. The ruins only have an entrance, and the true cave is underground in the Pudong financial district. The demons use the high-rise buildings as cover to devour the essence. Ye Zhi came closer and smelled the faint sandalwood scent of the scroll on the tip of her nose. She was shocked. Financial district. Those missing white-collar workers are all connected. Han Shao smiled. Junior brother's technique is designed to break through hidden formations. Senior brother, let's join forces and use flying sword navigation to attack Huanglong. Chu Tian nodded, fighting spirit rising in his eyes. Okay. But the Demon King is alert and there must be temptations. Before he finished speaking, the night wind outside the windows suddenly tightened, and a gust of fishy wind rushed in. The glass shattered, and 3 black shadows rushed in, the little demon. It looks like a monkey demon, with sharp claws and pointed teeth, and a ferocious smile with green eyes. The Demon King has an order, let's test your weight. Han Zhao's reaction was like lightning. With a wave of his seal, the phantom chain erupted. Silver light wrapped around a demon like a python, and the sound of bone cracking was heard as it was squeezed. Green blood spattered and the stench filled the sky. Ye Zhi drew his spear and fired, but although it was ineffective, he was forced to retreat. Chu Tian's flying sword flashed, and 3 rays of cold light came out. Puff, 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 penetrated the brain. The 3 monsters crashed to the ground, turning into black water, and the rotten smell filled the air. The little demon was about to die, and human words were squeezed out of his throat. Grr. It's too late. The Demon King is coming to the Magic City in person, tonight, bloodbath the whole city. The voice stopped suddenly, and the black water evaporated, leaving behind a jade plaque with Order of the Demon King engraved on it. The 3 of them looked at each other, and the air was solemn. Chu Tian crushed the jade token and revealed his murderous intent. It's better if you come. Kill it with 1 sword. Outside the window, the night sky of the demon city was suddenly covered with clouds, faint thunder, and the aura of the Demon King was like a tide, which made people's hearts palpitate. In the secret room, thunder roared like war drums, the window glass buzzed and trembled, and the evil spirit seeped into the air like ink, mixed with the stench of blood and decay, making Ye Zhi's stomach churn. She stared at the dark clouds outside the window, fear in her beautiful eyes. The Demon King is really here. What should we do? There are thousands of people in the police station, isn't it like a sheep entering a tiger's mouth? Han Shao raised his sword eyebrows, re-knotted the seals on his palms, and the silver light flashed. Brother, strike first. The scroll map shows that the underground outpost of the Pudong financial district is the eyes and ears of the Demon King. If you destroy it, you can break his arms. He pointed at the 3-dimensional map with his finger, the red dots pulsed like his heart, and he faintly growled, there are more than 10 little demons, and they are tightly guarded, but they must not be indestructible. Chu Tian sneered, the flying sword in his sleeve buzzed and jumped, and the chill was piercing. Go. Ye Zhi, follow closely. Anyone who gets in the way will die. He flashed out of the door. Han Shao grabbed Ye Zhi, and the 3 of them rushed into the SUV like shadows in the night. The engine roared, the tires tore the asphalt road, and the pungent smell of burnt rubber filled the air, heading straight to Pudong. The night in the magical city is like an iron curtain, with tall buildings and neon lights like blood. The entrance to the underground parking lot in the financial district is hidden in an abandoned elevator shaft, shrouded in mist and ghosts howling like wolves. Ye Zhi's hand holding the gun trembled slightly, and his palms were wet with sweat. This place is crowded with white-collar workers during the day, but turns into a monster cave at night. How crazy. Han Xiao smiled and patted her on the shoulder. Mortals are blind, I will wait for my eyes to be opened. Desperation that was overwhelming but suppressed instantly broke out. More than a dozen little monsters sprang out, looking like twisted monkeys, with green eyes and bloody pupils, and claws like sickles, coming at you. The leading monster laughed ferociously, the claw wind roared, and the iron ladder was torn apart with a squeaking sound, and it went straight to Chu Tian's throat. Ye Zhi screamed and pulled out the gun. The bullet shot out with a bang bang, but it was like hitting cotton, and the demon's skin bounced away without any damage. Her face turned pale, and she stepped back and hit the wall of the well. You can't penetrate. We are dead. Han Xiao threw out his chain and entangled the two demons, squeezing so hard that bones shattered and green blood splattered. However, he was surrounded by more demons, and their claws were like nets, forcing him to lose his breath. Senior brother, there are too many. Chu Tian jumped out of the SUV, his feet trembling slightly on the ground. The phantom technique was activated instantly, and the air around him was distorted. The three figures transformed like water waves, turning into patrolling security guards, and silently sneaked into the elevator shaft. The well was as dark as ink, the iron ladder was rusty, the sound of dripping water echoed, and the stench was astounding. While descending, green claws suddenly split open on the wall of the well, and a sharp smile came out. Humans. Fresh meat delivered to your door. At this moment, Chu Tian's eyes were like daggers, and the corner of his mouth curled up with contempt. Zombie. He raised one hand and performed the magic, phantom formation, to explode. The air in the well was distorted like a dream, and the eyes of the monsters were dazzled. The surroundings turned into a bustling bar, surrounded by beauties. The aroma of wine was fragrant, and the wine poured out. The monsters were stunned, their green eyes were confused. This, the bliss of the world. The leader of the monsters giggled and reached out to grab the wine glass, but it was empty. His claws chopped off the same kind, and they became a mess. Brother, you steal my wine. Get away, my beauty. The monsters killed each other, the sound of tearing claws and flesh was endless, green blood spattered everywhere, and the stench rose to the sky. The demons laughed wildly, the fishy wind blew against their faces, and their claws clawed at Ye Zhi's shoulders, tearing them apart before his eyes. The whole place was in despair, and the monster roared loudly, "How dare you, a little cultivator of immortality, come to die? The demon king is bloodbathing the demon city, you guys break your fast first." The demon fog in the well surged, the vision was blurred, and the aura of death was overwhelming. Chu Tian ignored it, and with a thought, the 3-inch flying sword was remotely navigated, and the sword disappeared into the void, flashing like a ghost. Buzz buzz, the sword buzzed like a swarm of bees frying a pot. The first cold light passed by, and the head of the leading demon exploded with a pop. Green brains splashed on the wall of the well, and the body fell with a muffled sound. The sword flashed continuously, the second, the third, more than 10 silver arcs intertwined, as precise as missiles, piercing the brain, amputating limbs, and disemboweling. The monster howled miserably. Ouch, its body was cut like a piece of paper, the fracture was smooth, and its steaming blood made a sizzling sound. Blood rain poured down in the well, demon corpses piled up, the smell of rot and rust was mixed, and the ground was as slippery as mud. The side foil is instantly full. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes widened, her mouth opened slightly, and her voice trembled like a leaf falling in the wind. Heaven. Illusion. Are they fighting on their own? Chu Tian, you are a magic trick. Han Zhao's pupils shrank and his throat rolled. Senior brother's performance magic is so proficient that even high-level demons are caught in it. Hiss. He gasped, admiring him like fire. Ye Zhi's gun skills were perfectly coordinated. She took advantage of the chaos and fired continuously. Although the bullets were not fatal, they hit the demon's eyes, forcing them to expose their flaws. Green juice burst out, hit Mr. Chu, the one on the left. Chu Tian's flying sword turned and penetrated with a whoosh sound. The demon's head flew up and rolled down to her feet. She screamed excitedly, her beautiful eyes flashing wildly, "It's so strong. We are invincible." At the end of the fierce battle, a black shadow struggled to crawl out from the demon corpse, Luo Li. She looks like a girl, with disheveled silver hair, slightly protruding demon ears, scarred body, clothes stained with green blood, and a weak aura. Don't kill me. I am a former demon, turned positive. The Demon King forces me to guard the sentry, I hate it. She knelt down, her voice trembled, tears in her eyes. The lair mechanism, the fake well on the B2 floor of the financial building, 3 blood gates, the real hole is in the abyss of 100 meters, the blood pool guards, swallowing the essence of hundreds of people. Chu Tian Fei's sword hovered in front of her neck, cold light reflected on her face, and she looked at it indifferently. Prove it. Luo Li gritted her teeth, and a silver talisman appeared in her palm, seal of heaven. Please help me, I know the way, and I will help you. Han Shao nodded, brother, this banshee's blood is pure, it seems to have been purified, it is trustworthy. The engine roared outside the well and the siren blared. Zhao Taizhan led a team to arrive, and was surrounded by more than 20 policemen with guns, and searchlights were fired like daggers. The deputy director's fat face twisted, and he yelled snobbishly at first, monster. Shoot. Ye Zhi, what are you doing? That kid is a liar. He dares to cause trouble in the city. Catch him. He waved his hand, and the police rushed forward. The black hole of their gun was pointed at Chu Tian, taunting everyone. Young boy, was the steel plate just a magic trick? Kneel down. Chu Tian walked out slowly, the flying sword hovering in his palm, buzzing to shake his soul. He looked down at Zhao Taizhan like a god looking down at an ant. Get lost. As soon as he said this, the flying sword trembled slightly, and the cement at Zhao Tishan's feet cracked, and the cracks scurried toward his feet like snakes. The deputy director knelt down with a thud, his beer belly trembling like waves, and his voice trembling like chaff. Sir, sorry, spare your life. I can't see the truth. Damn you for talking too much just now. He kowtowed like garlic, his forehead was stained with blood, and cried, information. I give you all the demonic information. 50 people are missing in the city center, even in the financial district. There is a ghost inside, and someone in the police station has been charged. Please take care of me, heroes. But the light shines into the well, and the sea of blood of demon corpses comes into view. Broken limbs and broken bodies were piled up, green blood was like a river, and the rotten stench hit your nostrils. Zhao Tishan's steps froze, his small eyes stared like dead fish, and his fat mouth trembled. What the hell is this? Monkey? Green blood? The policemen rubbed their eyes and screamed. Someone dropped his gun on the ground and backed away with weak legs. Ghosts, monsters. They are all dead. Who did it? Sword wounds? Impossible. The surrounding police officers knelt down, and someone murmured, immortal, living God. Ye Zhi held out her chest, her beautiful eyes admiring. Deputy Bureau, can you see clearly? Mr. Chu is invincible. Chu Tian snorted contemptuously and withdrew his flying sword. Get away, you trash. Ye Zhi, you are brave and stubborn, and your mortal body has spiritual roots. Become me your registered disciple, and I will teach you the basic mental method, qi gathering technique. Golden light emerged from his palm, and he pressed the center of her eyebrows, and a warm current rushed into her meridians. Ye Zhi's whole body was shaken, heat waves surged in her dantian, her vision was clear, she could hear the chirping of birds in her ears, and smell the fragrance of flowers in her nose. Master, master. I feel angry. Is this cultivating immortality? With tears streaming down her face, she knelt down and kowtowed, her voice choked with sobs, "Disciple will follow you to death." Han Shao held up his hand and took out the jade slip. Senior sister Su Nuan sent a message, and the new information was confirmed. The Demon King's lair is 100 meters deep, and the blood pool is not only swallowing sperm, but there are also demon species scattered in the city, trying to break out a big epidemic. What Luo Li said is true, the entrance to the true cave needs the Demon King's order, broken jade to trigger it, but we ruined the card. Senior sister has a substitute. Luo Li stood up, her silver hair flying. I have it. Come with me. She led the way, and the four of them sneaked into the false shaft B2 of the financial building. The blood door banged open, and the fishy wind was like a knife. In the abyss, red light flashed, and people screamed faintly. Celebrations for the first victory erupted in the SUV. Ye Zhi pumped her fist excitedly. Master and uncle, let's kill more than 10 demons and eradicate the outpost. The demon city is saved. Han Shao laughed. Brother, the power is great, the flying sword is like a dragon. Luo Li's eyes were filled with tears. Thank you, my benefactor, get rid of the demon shackles. Zhao Taizhan knelt down in the car behind to deliver the information, trembling. Hero, the police station is listening. Chu Tian sat back and closed his eyes to rest. The scroll was hot in his arms and the runes flashed wildly. The thunder clouds outside the window became denser, and the Demon King roared like thunder, "My son. I have come personally to stain the devil's capital with blood." He opened his eyes, with murderous intent like a sword, the first victory. A bigger crisis, the Demon King himself, is about to be bloodbathed. The air condensed, and the war reignited. The car behind screeched to a sudden stop, and Zhao Tishan's beer belly trembled and he rolled down. His fat face was as pale as paper, and he climbed onto the trunk of the SUV on his knees. He kowtowed and hit the ground with a dong-dong sound, and bloodshot eyes oozed from his forehead. Hero. Do it immediately. The whole network of the Magic City is monitored, with 5,000 intersections and tens of millions of cameras, at your disposal. He held his hand, the finger flew across the tablet, the screen lit up, the map of the Magic City pulsed with red and blue light dots, the red mist rolled under the financial district, and looming figures twisted. Look. The disappearances are all connected to the financial district. 50 people entered the building last night and no one came out. The mole is the intelligence section chief of our bureau. His soul is controlled by a demon. Last night, he sent a secret letter, keep out of Pudong. The SUV engine roared like a beast, the tires drew arcs of fire on the Pudong night road, and the neon reflection flickered like a river of blood. The air inside the car was stagnant, and the lingering sound of the Demon King's roar still echoed in my ears, mixed with the boom of thunder outside the window, and the raindrops hitting the roof of the car with pop like 1,000 arrows. Chu Tian's eyes were like swords, sweeping over the crowd. Zhao Taizhan, come up here. City Bureau surveillance, all on. Han Shao raised his eyebrows and slapped Luo Li on the shoulder. Demon girl, the whole picture of the lair. Luo Li's hair was wet and sticky to her cheeks, her demon ears were trembling slightly, and her tears were still wet. She unfolded the broken sheepskin jade in her palm, the Demon King's order. The jade shatters with a click, and the abyss is projected into the void. A three-dimensional view of the abyss. Behind the 3 blood gates of the fake well in B2 of the financial building, there is a 100-meter vertical abyss. The blood pool is boiling like magma, red bubbles, gulu, are popping up, hiding hundreds of mummies, and the black filth of the demon species is floating like spores. Her voice trembled, and she pointed at the red line. This luffy sword can be remotely navigated, protected from the blood pool, and pierced directly into the Demon King's organs. But the middle-level demon general guards the 3rd blood gate, and his claws are poisonous and rotten to the bones. 10 demons will surround him and no one will survive. Ye Zhi's eyes widened and she clenched her fist and hit her seat. You bastard. I have meetings with him every day. The air in her dantian began to swirl, and the qi gathering technique was running. There was a faint white mist in the palm of her hand. She smelled the mixed blood and rain in the car, and Zhao Tieshan's sweat beads rolled down like beans in her field of vision. She tried her luck, the pistol buzzed slightly, and the sound of bullets being loaded was extremely clear and crisp. Master, this feeling of aura, the gun is obeying my orders. The SUV stopped in the shadow of the financial building. Rain was like a curtain, and thunder and lightning tore through the night sky with white lights. The B2 parking lot of the building is empty, and the neon reflected in the puddles is like a bloody mirror. Zhao Taizhan remotely controlled the elevator to ding open, and the monitoring screen was synchronized with the tablet. The fake well-blood door was hidden behind the freight elevator, the demonic mist seeped out, and there was a faint roar. Luo Li gritted her teeth. The Demon King ordered the broken jade to stick to the door. Bang, the first blood door opened. The fishy wind was like a knife cutting into the face. The inner wall was covered with blood vines that rustled and squirmed, reaching out to grab the air like tentacles. Chu Tian snorted coldly, and the 3-inch flying sword in his sleeve jumped out with a buzz, circling like a queen bee, and the cold light reflected the pale faces of everyone. The route is locked. Su Nuan, amulet. Han Zhao's jade slip flashed, and Su Nuan's warm voice came out, like the spring breeze blowing in the ears, junior brother, senior brother. The thunder tribulation talisman is ready, 3 long-distance transmissions. A golden seam opened in the void, and 3 jade pendants with thunder patterns shot in with a whoosh and fell into the palm of Chu Tian. He gave it to Han Xiao and Ye Zhi, save for the tribulation. Luo Li, open the way. The second blood door creaked open, and the mouth of the abyss appeared. The wind roared like a ghost crying in a 100-meter black hole. The red light pulsated at the bottom. The stench of the blood pool steamed up. The disgusting smell of rotten flesh and essence made Ye Zhi retching. Master, if you fall into this depth, you will die. Han Xiao threw out the chain to explore the bottom, clang, stuck on the stone wall, and measured the depth of 100 meters, flying sword navigation, senior brother pioneer. Desire to flourish must first be suppressed by despair. The demon general waved his claws, tearing the air with it. Show, the iron wall of the blood gate creaked and deformed, and went straight towards Chu Tian's chest. Ye Zhi used her energy to protect her body. The gunshot went bang bang, and the bullet hit the scales with clang, and sparks flew everywhere. The tiger's mouth was numb due to the shock. She screamed and retreated. Master, this guy has rough skin and thick flesh, and the qi gathering technique can't stop him. Han Xiao danced wildly with his chain, entangling the 2 men. The winged demon cracked his bones to pieces, green blood sprayed out on his face, and the pain was like fire. Senior brother, the demon general is at the peak of his foundation building, and his poisonous claws are melting into gold. We can't withstand it. Luo Li's ears trembled, and she knelt down and held her head. It's my old master. He destroyed the village with 1 claw, please spare your life. In front of the 3rd blood gate, a crisis breaks out. The blood door was half open, and a mid-level demon general stood like an iron tower, with a bull's head and a human body, horns like hooks, and blood-red eyes like lamps. The scales on his body clashed with each other, and the 5 fingers of his claws and palms were like sickles, dripping with green poison that corroded the ground and emitted white smoke. It laughed ferociously and vibrated the air with a buzzing sound like a thunder drum. All the outpost demons are wiped out. I will personally listen to the Demon King's order, and you, the immortal bugs, are here to die. More than 10 elite demons sprang out around him, the monkey charm upgraded, its wings flapped in the fishy wind, and its claw nets poured down like rain. The demon general laughed wildly, with his horns reaching the sky, and stepped on the bloody door. The gravel flew with a bang, the claw poison spilled, the potholes on the ground smoked, and the corrosive smell of the air was pungent. The Demon King has blood-bathed the demon city, you will be nourished in the blood pool first. Zhao Taizhan looked from the outside of the tablet screen, his fat face twisted and shouting in vain, "Hero! Get out, the City Bureau Special Police have closed the road." The whole place was filled with despair. The demon enlarged its claws and palms, covering the sky and the moon. The poisonous mist filled the air and blurred the vision, and death was overwhelming. Chu Tian's eyes remained unchanged, and the corners of his mouth elongated with contempt. "It's an eyesore." He kneaded with one hand and performed the magic thunder shadow phantom explosion instantly. The thunder exploded in the abyss, and the illusion in front of the demon general exploded. He turned into a mortal beggar, kneeling at the feet of the political and business elites of the devil's capital. The wealthy people stamped on their heads with their leather shoes and laughed like needles. "Monster! You are just a beast, go to the sewer." The demon general was stunned, with confused eyes. "No. I will conquer the demon world." It swung its claws wildly, smashed its breastplate and dented it, and sprayed poisonous blood. "The sides are full of foil." Ye Zhi's eyes were as wide as copper bells, her mouth was open in an O shape, and her voice was as trembling as sieve chaff. "Master, another illusion. Did the demon general harm himself? What is the world in its eyes?" Han Zhao's throat rolled, and he gasped, "Hiss," and the chain loosened. "Take off, senior brother's spell, God level." The mid-level demon general's foundation building is at the peak, and the mid-level and low-level illusions explode, like a child sleepwalking. Luo Li's silver hair danced wildly, and her tears were frantic. "My benefactor, even dug out the inner demons of the demon general. I was wrong, you are a god." Chu Tian ignored it, and with a thought, the 3-inch flying sword was locked by remote control navigation. The sword body is hidden in the void, and the navigation red line is like a laser piercing the demon general's heart. Buzz, the sword roared, and the first cold light flashed. The demon general's chest exploded with a poof, and the smooth hole penetrated. The pieces of his heart fell to the ground with a pop, and the hot blood steamed and sizzled with black smoke. The little demons were stunned, their swords flashed like silver dragons dancing wildly. The heads of more than a dozen winged demons flew together and rolled into the abyss, their broken wings fanned the blood mist, and the smell of putrid and burnt meat rose to the sky. The demon general knelt down, his bull's eyes turned white, and he grabbed the air with his claws for a last blow. "Monster, king." Chu Tian's flying sword whirled around, and the second blow pierced the center of the eyebrow with a whoosh. The green brain splashed on the wall and stuck to the wall with a pop. The huge corpse fell with a bang, smashing the blood door and splashing rubble, making everyone's feet numb. The blood pool in the abyss was filled with red light, and there was a faint roar rising up. The blood gate is fully opened, and the true acupuncture point is revealed. Luo Li led him into the abyss, using his flying sword to open the way. The 4 of them descended from the sky, the wind roared in their ears, and the stench of the blood pool was like a tide. Han Xiao held the scroll, the hidden curse was broken, the runes buzzed wildly, and the golden light projected the list of the city's political and businessmen, the mayor's secretary, the director and supervisor of the consortium, all marked in red. "Sole controller, brother. The Demon King's conspiracy is revealed. Not only the blood pool swallows the essence, but its demon species controls the upper levels of the demon city. The political and business ghosts are everywhere, and it wants to explode the epidemic and wipe out hundreds of millions of mortals, and seize the demons for the demon kingdom. The scroll warns, the alliance of heavenly messengers is coming, but we need to cut it off." Ye Zhi excitedly swung the gun, and the chi gathering technique was just beginning to be formed. The energy gathered at the muzzle, and the bullet wrapped in white mist shot out with a bang. It hit the little demon's broken wing and exploded, with green juice flying everywhere. She screamed in ecstasy, "Master! The disciple's magic power has just begun to appear, and the gun is like a flying sword. Invincible!" Han Xiao laughed and clapped his hands. "Master's niece has a top-grade spiritual root, and she is traveling rapidly." Chu Tian nodded and collected the Thunder Tribulation talisman with murderous intent. "Destroy it." Beside the blood pool at the bottom of the abyss, hundreds of corpses were piled up like a mountain. The black mist of the demon species was floating away, and the faint smell of disease made his heart palpitate. Su Nuan's voice passed to the jade slip again, "Senior brother, be careful, the demon king's blood sacrifice is about to take place." At the edge of the blood pool, the red waves rolled like the gates of hell. The stinking hot steam steamed upwards. The musty smell mixed with the black mist of rotting corpses and demon seeds penetrated directly into the nose, causing stomach acid to rise. The wall of the abyss cracked with endless cracks, and the black-armored demon guard sprang out like a tide, and the figures of hundreds of elites were twisted. The armor leaves collided with each other like iron rain, the claw blades glowed with cold light, and the blood pupils locked on the team. The murderous aura condensed into substantial wind pressure, forcing the air to buzz and twist. The phantom of the Demon King was entrenched in the center of the pool, laughing like all the ghosts crying, "The cultivating insects, destroy my demon generals. Elite guards, tear them apart. Feast in the blood pool, the fall of the demon city is just around the corner." Luo Li's silver hair was blown by the heat wave, and her demon ears trembled like leaves. Her knees weakened and she almost fell to her knees. She looked at Chu Tian with tearful eyes, "Benefactor, 100 elite demon guards, all of whom are at the middle level of foundation building, and their armor is as thick as a city. In the past, no one in our clan could stop the blood pool demon species. It has drifted away, we have no way to escape." Ye Zhi's eyes widened, and the chi gathering technique was running. The white mist wrapped around the pistol, but the fingertips were trembling. The gun muzzle pointed at the black shadow and made a bang sound. The bullet hit the leading demon guard Jia, and sparks spattered. The shot caused her tiger's mouth to burst open and bloodshot, "Master. These monsters are not afraid of guns, and their strength only scratches their fur." The police sirens outside the city bureau are in chaos, and Zhao Qishan's fat guy is still screaming, "The outside has fallen." Han Xiao swung the chain wildly, entangling 3 nearby people. The demon guard's armor shattered, and green blood sprayed on his face, burning like soreness. He gritted his teeth and backed away, his face livid, "Senior brother." The demon guard's formation attacks together, the poisonous mist seals the road, and the scroll rune warns, "The Celestial Alliance still needs to cut its roots, we can't withstand this wave." Outside the SUV, Zhao Qishan's tablet screen was synchronized with the abyss, his fat face was twisted like mud, and he was sweating like rain. He kowtowed and hit the roof of the car with a dong-dong sound. His voice came through the radio with trembling, "Hero. Chaos at the city bureau headquarters. Set up. The spy chief of the intelligence section shows up and accuses you of being the evil leader. Deputy Director Wang Defa is shaken, and the special police have turned around to surround the SUV. He shouted, "Chu Tian's magic tricks the people, arrest them quickly." The red mist spreads, and the disappearance case is still linking up with the political and business insiders. I can't hold it anymore." The scene switched to the city bureau hall, Wang's fat face turned red, and he punched the table with a bang. The intelligence section chief stood by with a dark smile, a faint red light flashing in his eyes. "Deputy Director Zhao, why are you kneeling down on that lunatic? Monitor the whole certificate. Chu Tian's demon-killing general is an illusion, he is the Demon King's minion." In the abyss, the demon guard's claw net poured down like a torrential rain, tearing up the air with a whoosh, forcing the team to retreat to the edge of the blood pool. The gravel under their feet fell with a plop, the wind roared with the black mist of the demon seed, choking their noses, and their vision blurred into a bloody red. Ye Zhi screamed and dodged, and his sleeves were scratched by claws and shattered into pieces, with hot blood marks. "Master, we are trapped. The Demon King's shadow is sucking the essence, and my dantian is spinning around, so boring." Han Zhao's chain broke, and green poison eroded his chest and sizzled smoke. He coughed up blood and knelt down. "Senior brother, the talisman is in reserve, but these hundreds of demons can't be destroyed." Luo Li hugged his head and huddled up, and the old master laughed like a needle pricking his heart. "Benefactor, spare my life. The passage hides the blood pool, but I can't open it, the Demon King's blood sacrifice is locked. At this moment, a red wave exploded in the center of the blood pool, and a black shadow rose up. The Demon King's shadow laughed ferociously, and the sound was like thousands of ghosts howling, "You destroy my demon general." Hundreds of elite demon guards are dispatched to encircle and suppress the financial district. The demon city is stained with blood, and you will be buried. On the wall of the abyss the quacking cracked, and the demon guard's black armor surged out like a tide, with murderous intent. The sirens outside the SUV rang wildly, and Zhao Taizhan screamed, "Hero!" The demons took to the streets, the city bureau fell. The elites are encircling and suppressing. The war erupted like a volcano, the air condensed, and the decisive battle was imminent. Chu Tian's eyes were like frost, and the corners of his mouth were slowly elongated with contempt. A group of beasts, are they worthy of blocking the sky? He pointed a single finger at the center of Luo Li's eyebrows, and injected spiritual power like a thread, open. Luo Li's demonic ears stood up, her eyes were filled with tears, and her body was shaken. The remaining demon king's broken jade in her palm, buzzed and melted with blood, and the back wall of the blood pool, bang, opened a hidden passage. The black hole is deep, the blood vines on the inner wall are squirming and sanding, the fishy wind is pouring in, and the faint barrier at the end of the passage is flickering with blue light, like the edge of a demon nest. Luo Li got up and worshipped with a trembling voice, "My benefactor's divine power, the old order is resurrected, I should open the way, I have never seen it before." The demon guard roared and rushed towards him. Chu Tian waved his sleeves and robes, and the 3-inch flying sword jumped out with a buzz. The remote control navigation locked the passage to ambush the demon soldiers. The sword body disappeared into the void, red lines shuttled like lasers, and more than 20 demon soldiers sprang out in the field of vision, with monkey bodies and wolf claws, ambushing vine webs like spider silk, and the first claw poison, Ye Zhi, sprinkled the rotten rocks on the ground. They laughed ferociously and taunted, "The Demon King has ordered that the passage be sealed, and the immortal cultivation insects are here to die." The flying swords flashed with cold light, and the first whoosh pierced the throat of the leading demon soldier and poofed a bloody hole. The second sword light flashed in succession, like a silver dragon dancing wildly. The demon soldiers' heads exploded with bang bang, severed limbs flew around, putrid brain mixed with blood mist hit their noses, and the passage instantly flowed with a sea of blood. Despair poured out like ink, and the whole place was dead silent. Only the demon guard's ferocious smile, "Jie Jie," and the claws, "Dong Dong," were approaching. The shadow of death was shrouded, and even the red light of the blood pool seemed to be pulsing and taunting. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes widened, her mouth opened into an O shape, her pistol almost dropped to the ground, her voice trembled like a sieve, "Master's flying sword, the remote control is like a god." 20 demon soldiers were wiped out in an instant, and even their shadows can't be touched. The disciples' energy has just begun, in the sky and on the earth. Han Zhao's throat rolled, he moved, gasped and hissed, and wiped the green blood on his face. "Senior brother's swordsmanship, the peak of foundation building is beyond comparison." The passage is opened, the demon soldiers are wiped out. Luo Li knelt down and kowtowed, her silver hair swept away the blood. "My benefactor, the old clan's passage is opened, I swear to follow you to death." Chu Tian sneered, his thoughts were distracted, and he performed the magic monster distinguishing mirror shadow instantly. In the hall of the Municipal Bureau of Void Projection, Wang Defa was grabbing Zhao Taizhan by the collar. The chief of the intelligence section smiled sinisterly and said with red eyes, "Deputy Bureau, Chu Tian Feijian has the evidence of murder, and all the devils in the political and business circles in the capital will testify against him." Chu Tian's voice penetrated the screen like thunder, "Wang Defa, the beast has revealed itself." He made a gesture, and the mirror locked the eyebrows of the intelligence section chief, and a red light burst out. The section chief screamed and twisted, his face cracked open, the demonic horn sprang out, green blood spurted out, his claws scratched his heart and exploded, his body was limp and twitching, and the stench filled the hall. The team rushed into the passage, the blood vines retreated automatically, Luoli whispered the mechanism in front, and the blue barrier at the end pulsed like a water curtain, blocking the core of the demon nest. At the same time, Zhao Taizhan radioed urgently, "Hero." Deputy Bureau Wang of the City Bureau was tricked into being a mole, and the special police surrounded the SUV. He yelled, "Monster Chu Tian, illusory demon destroyer, it's all fake." Zhao Taizhan collaborated with the enemy, "Shoot him. I am delaying, please help." The special police of the city bureau glared like a dead fish. Wang Defa felt his beer belly, knelt down and kowtowed with blood on his forehead, "Hero, magic. The traitor showed up, I was wrong." The arrest order was withdrawn across the network, and the special police mobilized the demon guards. Zhao Tieshan's fat face was ecstatic, with tears streaming down his face, "Hero. Distinguish the shadow of demons in the mirror, a magical skill." The deputy bureau is kneeling, the city bureau obeys the order. At the end of the passage, the buzzing of the blue barrier intensified, the edge of the demon nest appeared, and the shadow of the blood altar was hidden inside. Suddenly, the golden seam in the void teared open, and Su Nuan's white skirt floated to the ground, with a warm face and a smile, and the thunder light in her hand, "Senior brother, junior brother. The information is complete, the Demon King's blood sacrifice uses political and business soul control list to break out the epidemic. The amulet is strengthened, the formation is perfect." The 3 jade pendants in her palm rotated, and the thunder patterns flashed, sizzling, injecting everyone's amulet. The arc of lightning was like a dragon, and the smell of burnt air hit her nostrils. Su Nuan looked at Chu Tian with tender eyes, "Senior brother, lead the army, I will assist you. Break the barrier." In the abyss passage, when everyone heard this, Ye Zhi excitedly pumped his fist, "Master slaps you in the face." The city's sharp eyes are all kneeling down, and the disciples worship him to death. Han Shao laughed, "Senior brother pointed a finger, and ordinary powerful people are like ants." Han Shao and Ye Zhi joined forces, Han Zhao's chain phantom, buzzed, and turned into thousands of threads. Ye Zhi gathered energy and white mist and fired the gun with bang bang, and the two of them hit the barrier together with bang. The blue light shattered like a click of glass, the edge of the demon nest appeared, the black mist of the demon species billowed on the blood altar, and the disease air pulsated faintly in the pile of mummies. Su Nuan glanced sideways and whispered to Chu Tian, "Senior brother, the scroll foreshadows, the alliance of heaven is coming, does the Demon King have support from the upper world?" The bond deepened, and Su Nuan gently held Chu Tian's sleeve, "I have lived in seclusion for 3 years, and my senior brother has carried it alone. Now we join forces to eliminate the root cause." Chu Tian nodded, and his murderous intention became stronger, "Okay." The Demon King's true form was like a black mountain pressing against the top, its wing membranes, slapping, against the remaining walls of the passage, setting off a fishy wind mixed with the stench of rotting sulfur, which went straight into the nasal cavity and made people's throats spasm. The huge body blocked the blood-red light, and the demonic ink clouds rolled like a tsunami. The pressure made the air buzz and distort, everyone's eardrums stung, and the kneecaps creaked, with signs of shattering. The red waves surged wildly in the depths of the blood pool, and the black mist of the demon species crawled like thousands of insects, scurrying into the edge of the demon nest at the end of the passage. The pile of mummies on the blood altar exploded, and the green mist of the disease filled the air, choking the eyes with tears, and blurred the vision into a green and black dead zone. The Demon King's blood pupils were like lava, locking onto Chu Tian and laughing like thunder, "You little insect cultivating immortals, have you been hiding from the world for 3 years? I control the souls of all the ghosts in politics and business in the devil's capital. When the epidemic breaks out, hundreds of millions of mortals turn into demon slaves. Your talisman, thunder, is just an itch." It with a wave of his wing claws, 10 black shadow guardians sprang out, each 3 feet high, with a bull's head and body armor covered with blood scales, and claws and palms like hooks and scythes glowing with cold light. The evil energy combined to form a net, forcing the wall of the passage to collapse with a bang and a rain of stone debris. The leader of the protector hit the air with his horns and exploded with a wave of air. He roared mockingly, "The Lord protects you with blood sacrifices. We and the Peak Foundation building protectors will tear the insect swarm apart. Traitor Luo Li, skin and cramp first." Luo Li's silver hair danced wildly, her demonic ears trembled, her body felt like being squeezed by invisible giant hands, her face turned pale and she knelt down, her old bloodline backfired like fire burning her heart. "My benefactor, the protector's bloodline is suppressed, my old injury has relapsed, and I can't open the deep lair. If they attack together, the thunder talisman will be broken." Ye Zhi's eyes were bloodshot, and the white mist wrapped around her gun was whirling around. Her arm was sore and the gun barrel clinked to the ground. She bit her lip and blood oozed out. "Master." The plague mist entered the body, and the dantian was like a needle, and the demon king's wings were swept away, and all our bones were gone. Broken. The phantom of Han Zhao's chain dimmed, and the green poison sizzled on his chest. He coughed up blood and said in a hoarse and desperate voice, "Brother, there are 10 guardians, the formation is locked, and the thunder of the sister's talisman can't suppress the fog tide. The scroll runes are flashing, and the blood sacrifice has begun. 80%, the red mist outside the demonic city is skyrocketing." Su Nuan's white dress was stained with blood, her jade pendant's thunder patterns were trembling, her soft eyes flashed, and her fingers holding Chu Tian's sleeves were cold. "Brother, the upper realm's backup is suspicious, my thunder formation cannot withstand the combined attacks of the protectors, and I have to bear it alone for 3 years, you, take care." The blood altar at the edge of the demon lair pulsated like a heart, the protective claw net was torn apart like a heavy rain, forcing the team to retreat. The blood vines under their feet were sanding around their legs and pulling, the boots soaked in rotten juice were squeaking and melting the skin, and death and despair were like a sea of ink flooding the entire place. Zhao Tieshan's radio intermittently heard screams from the city bureau, "Heroes. The red mist is spreading, political and business insiders are running amok, and the special police dispatched by Wangda have been infected with the epidemic and have mutated on their knees. Can't hold on." Only the demon king, Ye Zhi, laughed wildly and the guardian claws, Dong Dong, approached. Everyone's face was as pale as paper, beads of sweat mixed with blood dripped down, and even their breathing was trembling. The frost in Chu Tian's eyes did not move, and the corner of his mouth slowly turned into a contemptuous arc. How can a beast protector be worthy of a blood sacrifice? He made a seal with one hand, and the 3-inch flying sword buzzed in his palm, and the sword body was filled with spiritual power and exploded with silver light pouring out like a galaxy. The thought divided into 10 lines, the remote control navigation locked the 10 protectors, the sword's shadow disappeared in the void and swished through the sky, and the red line cut through the demonic ink cloud like a laser. The first guardian bull's horn hit the air and sparks flew everywhere, the flying sword exploded out of the void and penetrated the blood-scaled leaves, the green blood fountain splashed into the altar, the guardian bull's eyes widened, its throat clucked, and the head exploded with a pop, and the brain was rotten like acid mist and hit the nostrils. Second, the 3 guardians' claws and nets hit together, the sword light flashed like a silver dragon dancing wildly, the arc of electricity pierced the heart and lungs, the severed limbs flew around and hit the ground, the guardian howled miserably like a ghost crying, "Impossible. The flying sword is controlled by a remote control, without a trace." At this moment, there was a loud boom deep in the blood pool, and the demon king's true body rose up. A huge black shadow was like a mountain, its wingspan blocked the light of the passage, and the terrifying demonic energy exploded like an ink cloud, making everyone's knees weak. They smelled the smell of destructive sulfur in their noses, and their vision was completely black. Thousands of ghosts were crying in their ears, "Children, the blood sacrifice has started. An epidemic broke out in the Devil's City. You must be buried first." The demonic aura enveloped the whole place, and the passage collapsed with a croak, and the decisive battle was about to break out. The protector Qin Chi roared and rushed towards him, his demon energy attack became even more frenzied, his claw hook tore apart the passage wall with a whirring sound, and gravel hit everyone like a projectile with a slapping sound, and the amulet sparks flew out. Chu Tian snorted coldly and performed the magic phantom clone instantly. With a flicker of his body, 3 phantoms of Chu Tian separated in 4 directions, each with a sword pointing as if it were real. The spiritual power transformed into a thunder shadow and exploded with boom, boom energy, confusing the protector's vision. The sword intent surged wildly in the hidden shadow of the real body, and the 4th sword light went straight to the heart of the leading protector. The blood hole exploded. The phantom's fist and palm hit the remaining protector's forehead, bang bang. There was a crisp sound of cracking bones, green blood brains mixed with epidemic fog filled the air, and the stench was as pungent as a tomb opening. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes widened, her mouth opened into an O shape, forgetting the burning pain of the epidemic fog, and she screamed with excitement, Master's flying sword magic skill. The 10 guardians broke through 3 instantly, and the sword is like a ghost that can't be touched. The disciple's dantian is stable, worship him to death. Han Zhao's throat rolled, he gasped and hissed, wiped blood and laughed, Master Brother's multi-wire remote control, the chain is like paper. Luo Li's demonic ears stood up, her old bloodline awakened, her silver hair danced wildly, and tears filled her eyes, my benefactor, Tian Wei. The bloodline is unsealed, and I feel that the hidden door under the Blood King's altar leads directly to the Demon King. Han Xiao and Ye Zhi's eyes met, Han Zhao's chain phantom, buzzed, and turned into thousands of threads like a spider web. Ye Zhi's qi-gathering technique was operating at its peak, the white mist-wrapped gun, bang bang, shot out qi-gene projectiles, the 2 of them attacked together like a tidal wave, overwhelming the army of guards. Thousands of demon guards in black armor surged with dong dong, their claws and blades were raised together, hundreds of Korean chains were wrapped around them and, cracked, their shattered armor, green blood sprayed, crack, the leaf gun penetrated the armor with puff, and the white mist exploded and froze the demon limbs, crack. The demon guards screamed in succession, the protector is dead, the formation is broken. The remaining demon soldiers knelt and trembled, their black armor, ding ding, fell to the ground, and their bloody pupils were full of fear. Chu Tian's flying sword returned to his palm, and the silver light converged. He took a step forward, and his invincible momentum was like the sky falling and the earth falling. The demonic ink cloud automatically retreated, whooshing, and the pulse of the blood altar stopped. The voice was like frost and thunder, the demon king beast, the protector has been destroyed, you remaining soldiers, will you surrender or die? The remaining demon soldiers, the bull-headed protector, glared like dead fish, and the leading demon general knelt on the bloody ground with a soft bang, his voice trembling like a sieve, God, have mercy. Before the Lord passed the tribulation, we betrayed and swore to be servants. Luo Li stepped forward and whispered, her bloodline-awakened eyes navigated the deep hidden door, benefactor, take it and establish a demon-hunting outpost. Everyone gathered around, Ye Zhi pumped her fists in ecstasy, her beautiful eyes flashed with tears, Master is invincible. The flying sword clones strike together, the guardian is instantly destroyed, and the demon guards kneel down. The demon city is saved, and the disciples swear to follow. Han Xiao laughed and patted Su Nuan on the shoulder, senior brother shocked the whole audience, a temporary demon hunting sect has been formed. The scroll runes are stable, and all the information is available. Su Nuan holding Chu Tian's arm gently, he said tenderly, senior brothers have been fighting for 3 years, and now we join forces to win a great victory. The bond will be forever. Luo Li kowtowed and swept the ground with his silver hair, Master of the God of Heaven, I will lead the demon soldiers into the deep nest. Zhao Taizhan burst into joy over the radio, hero. The city situation is stable, Wangde has served, the red mist has dispersed, the whole network praises the power of the hero. There was a brief silence at the edge of the demon lair, with smoke lingering from the blood altar, and the smell of burnt green blood gradually dissipated. Chu Tian sat cross-legged on the bloody ground, sweeping away his spiritual power. The flying sword in his palm buzzed and absorbed the essence and blood of the protector. The thunder patterns on the sword body were reborn, and the remote control range tripled. The magic of identifying demon mirror shadows melts the broken jade of the Demon King's order, and the projection range extends to the entire demonic city. He circulates around the sky, the Chi Sea in the Dantian is churning, the bottleneck at the peak of foundation building is loosened, and the prototype of the golden elixir appears. Everyone sat around and repaired. Han Shao divided the spirit of the demon guard into the chain, doubling the power. Ye Zhi swallowed the chi pill, gathering the chi, and the white mist solidified like frost. Su Nuan strengthened the amulet, the thunder array can resist the catastrophe. Luo Li's bloodline is stable, and the deep nest map is fully opened. Su Nuan's beautiful eyes widened, her white skirt fluttered and she raised her jade hand. Senior brother's avatar is amazing. She activated the talisman array, 3 jade pendants with thunder patterns flashed wildly, arcs of lightning merged into everyone's talismans like dragons, the thunder light flourished at the edge of the net covering the demon nest, and the green mist of the epidemic poison evaporated into green smoke with a pop, the burning smell hit their nostrils, and everyone's chest tightness was relieved instantly. Su Nuan's voice trembled in admiration, the thunder array is united, senior brother leads the army, the poisonous mist flies away. At this moment, the heavenly messenger scroll buzzed and shook violently, and the runes flashed red like fire. Chu Tian grabbed it, and the picture was projected into the depths of the Demon King's blood pool. His true body was wrapped in demon seeds, and his huge body was surrounded by thunder clouds. The golden tribulation clouds were overwhelming, and the Demon King laughed wildly, little insect sect. The sky thunder helped me transform into the Demon King, and the epidemic devastated the demon city, and you will be killed. The scroll warned, the Demon King is about to transcend the tribulation, and the support from the upper world is coming. The blood gates of the deep nest are all opened, and the crisis is like a landslide and tsunami. The walls of the passage cracked again, the thunder roared, and the smell of sulfur hit their nostrils. Everyone's expressions suddenly changed, and their hearts beat wildly. The blood mist at the end of the passage billowed like boiled rotten blood, and the thunder roared like thousands of drums beating in unison. It shook the eardrums to the point of bursting. The burning smell of sulfur clouds in the air was mixed with blood, choking and burning the throat. The remaining smoke from the blood altar at the edge of the demon nest was already curling up, but at this moment it was crushed into a whirlpool by the overwhelming pressure of the golden calamity cloud. It sucked in the blood vines under everyone's feet with a whoosh, and the vines, exploded and sprayed with rotten juice, soaking into the boots and, sizzling, and eroding the skin and flesh, hurting into the bone marrow. Luo Li's silver hair was pressed against her face by the wind, and her demonic ears trembled like an electric shock. She knelt down and clawed at the bloody ground, her fingernails were broken and bloody, and she said, her voice trembling like a candle in the wind, benefactor. Jin Jia Yun locked the entire nest. The Demon King summoned thunder from the sky to cross the tribulation, the blood door was fully opened, and the deep hidden door was like a bloody mouth, grinning ferociously, our foundation building prototype, can't withstand it. Han Zhao's chain phantom had just revived, but at this moment it collapsed into iron filings with a snap. The green poisonous embers in his chest rekindled, and he coughed out black blood and hit the ground with a snap. His face was ashen and he knelt down with a thump. He roared hoarsely, brother. The scroll runes are all red, the Demon King and demon seeds are sucking the sky. The Demon Emperor is transformed from the upper world, and the support from the upper world is coming. The chain essence backfires, and my intermediate level of foundation building, is broken. Ye Zhi's eyes were wide and bloodshot, and the white mist and frost gun flowed back to her dantian. Her gun barrel, ding-dong, fell to the ground, her arms twitched like a stroke, and she screamed, Master. The intelligence network is down, Wang Defa's entire city bureau is infected with the epidemic mutation, Zhao Bureau's radio is silent. The red mist surges into Pudong again, the high-rise buildings in the financial district are like ghosts, our team, is covered in fish. Su Nuan's white dress was stained deeper with blood, and the thunder-patterned jade pendant sizzled with cracks. Yen, her delicate hands pressed her breast, her soft eyes flashed with tears of despair, and her voice was as broken as a sob. Senior brother, the thunder formation cannot withstand the pressure of the golden calamity, the talisman's thunderlight is dim, the upper realm's backup is the reclusive elders of the Su family, they seduced the demon king to control politics and business, all my information was exposed. The embryonic form of the sect is shattered. Chu Tian sat cross-legged on the bloody ground, the thunder pattern of the 3-inch flying sword in his palm was still buzzing, but he felt that the prototype of the golden elixir in his dantian was hit by the power of the robbery cloud like a giant hammer. With a buzz, the sea of chi surged and blood surged up. Bloodshot eyes oozed from the corners of his mouth, and for the first time, frost flashed in his eyes with hesitation. The servants of the demon soldiers had just kowtowed their allegiance. At this moment, the Tauren trembled like chaff, and the black armor, ding ding, fell off. The leader demon shrunk his blood pupils into needles, crawled on his knees and approached, dong dong, and hit the bloody ground with his head. God. The blood sacrifices of the elders of the Su family have joined forces, and 10 top foundation builders, plus the newly married Jindan family, Lord, their demon king has been controlling the soul for a long time, and it is useless to wait for the foundation of the sect. The passage wall cracked again, the golden light and blood mist intertwined like the opening of the hell door, and the blood pool in the distance boiled more violently. The demon king laughed like thunder and said, "Little insect sect? Servant of the Su family, destroy it." Before he finished speaking, the deep hidden door exploded with a boom, and a wave of blood spread thousands of feet away. 10 figures came walking through the blood mist. Each of them had white hair, a childlike face, and fluttering Taoist robes, but the evil light in their eyes flickered like a will-o'-the-wisp. The aura of the magic weapon in their hand was dark, and the evil spirit was hidden. Su Wuji, the head of the Su family, was at the beginning of his golden elixir. He was as powerful as the top of a mountain. His white beard was fluttering and he laughed sinisterly. Junior Chu Tian, what is the peak of 3 years of hiding in the world to build the foundation? The Su family controls the political and business affairs of the Magic City. I will help with the blood sacrifice of the Demon King. I will intercept the scrolls of the upper world. You are waiting for the demon hunting outpost, cut the corpse into pieces. The old men pinched their crane claws together, and, buzzed, 10 black chains sprang out like dragons and pythons, forming a net to cover the edge of the demon nest. The demon patterns on the chains squirmed and swished, absorbing the remaining energy from the blood altar and soaring 3 feet, forcing the air to squeak and twist, and everyone's amulet thunder light, pop, and sparks flew out. First Elder Su Tieshua's paw prints hit Han Shao like a mountain, and the chain phantom flew away with a boom. His sternum shattered with a crack, blood spurted out, and he flew backwards and hit the wall with a bang. Blood surged from his mouth and he stared in despair. Senior brother. The demon lock of the Su family, the peak of foundation building is crushing me. It's like child's play. Ye Zhi gathered energy and formed a white mist to stab the gun, but the second Elder Mo's sword cut off the gun body with a chi. The white mist evaporated, and the blood hole in her shoulder exploded. Poof, she cried in pain and knelt down in tears. Master. The intelligence shows that the Su family's demon king controls Wang Defa. Epidemic, the demon species in their family is parasitic, and the gun power is powerless. As the Luoli bloodline awakening map was about to open, Su Wuji's demon eyes glared, her demon ears exploded with blood, her old wounds recurred, and she curled up into a ball, her silver hair stained with blood and trembled. Benefactor. The weak point of the nest is the Blood King. The spiritual veins under the altar, I can't tell. The Su family seals my bloodline. Su Nuan's thunder formation jade pendant shattered, her white skirt tore the jade arm with blood marks, and she cried softly, Senior brother. The Su family elders joined forces to confuse the formation, and my thunder talisman backfired on me, and the sect's formation collapsed. The demon soldiers and servants surged to protect the master, but they were entangled by the elders' ink locks and, sizzling, to draw blood. The bull's head exploded, bang bang, and the green blood brain fountain splashed on everyone's face. The stench was like sour rot. The leading demon crushed his throat and clucked before screaming miserably, "God!" The golden elixir of the Su family crushes the slaves like insects. Zhao Tieshan's radio kept ringing intermittently, but it was screaming, "Heroes!" The Su family's forces have infiltrated the police station. Wang Def sent all mutant SWAT police to surround the SUV. I ran out of ammunition. I can't hold on. Jin Jian lowered his pressure, thunder arcs hit the top of the passage, and gravel rained down on everyone's heads, causing blood and flesh to be bruised. Laughter rolled from the depths of the Demon King's blood pool, servant of the Su family, exterminate the insects. Heavenly thunder helps me. Chu Tian's 3-inch flying sword jumped out of his palm and tried to control it, but was locked in the air by the pressure of Su Wuji's family leader Jin Dan. The thunder pattern on the sword's body sizzled dimly. He knelt down on one knee and blood flowed from the corners of his mouth as his spiritual power surged. Everyone's desperate eyes focused on his face. Han Xiao crawled closer and pulled her sleeves, her voice trembling like a leaf. "Senior brother, called the allies of cultivators, my communication was interrupted. The Su family was sealed, and the prototype of the foundation building sect died." Ye Zhi's intelligence network flashed out of the corner of her eye. She gritted her teeth and got up. "Master. There is evidence of the Su family's collusion with the Demon King. I will expand the network. The devils in politics and business are all demons of the Su family, as evidenced by Wang Defa's mutation." Luo Li whispered in pain, "My benefactor, the spiritual veins of the altar are broken, and the Demon King's demon species is withered." Su Nuan's hands trembled and she injected the last thunder. "Senior brother, the formation is strong and strengthens the wall, hold on for a moment." Elder Su's claw net became even denser, and his whoosh tore through the air like a knife, forcing Chu Tian's team to retreat into the blood vine bush. The vines rustled wildly around the leg bones and clicked to break. Su Tieshua mocked and pointed his claws at Chu Tian, "Little insect flying sword. Golden elixir locks the spirit and peels off the skin." The first arc of lightning finally struck. Boom, the golden light struck Chu Tian's spirit like a sword, the power of calamity burned the air and the smell of burnt smell hit their nostrils. Everyone screamed and closed their eyes. The cold light in Chu Tian's eyes exploded. He touched his neck with one hand and activated the thunder tribulation talisman with a buzz. Su Nuan strengthened the thunder pattern and flashed wildly. The talisman backfired with the sky thunder and snapped, and the golden tribulation thunder arc rolled back like a dragon and returned to bite the Su family's formation. The elders' faces suddenly changed, and the ink locks broke. The first elder, Su Tieshua, was the first to bear the brunt. The lightning arc penetrated the chest and the flesh and blood evaporated. The green-blooded monster exploded with a bang. He made a gurgle in his throat. The talisman backfired. The sky thunder backfired. Impossible. Ye Zhi widened her beautiful eyes, forgetting her shoulder injury, and trembled with excitement. "Master's talisman is so powerful." Su Tieshua died instantly. Elder Jindan was so scared that he peed. Han Xiao laughed wildly in the blood foam. Senior brother rebelled against the thunder of the sky, and the Su family's formation was broken. Chu Tian took advantage of the situation to seal the secret, and took off the 3-inch flying sword. The trapped silver light exploded with a buzz. The remote control triple range locked Su Wuji's head. Swish, cut through the void cutting Taoist robe. The tip of the sword, pop, exploded the head with sparks of green blood. The family leader's white beard was stained with rotten juice and fell to the ground with a dong. The golden elixir Qi Si collapsed and, boom, the demonic energy was scattered. The faces of the 9 crippled elders turned pale, and their crane claws trembled as they retreated. The master of the family is dead. The flying swords and ghosts are counterattacking the power of heaven. Chu Tian opened his eyes and looked down upon the servants of the demon-sweeping soldiers. Build the prototype of the foundation sect, follow orders to hunt demons, and cut off the roots of demons. The demon soldiers all knocked, dong dong, and the sound shook the passage. The crowd cheered loudly, and Ye Zhi hugged his master's legs. Master has gained a god. The sword rises to the elixir, and it becomes even more invincible. Han Shao laughed tearfully. Senior brother leads the army, it's so exciting. Su Nuan took advantage of the situation and smashed her jade pendant into a thunder formation. The arc net covered the edge of the demon nest with a sizzling sound. The Su family's ink locks evaporated and popped with green smoke. The burnt smell was pungent. Her soft eyes shed tears of admiration. Senior brother leads the team, the sex formation is stable. The spirit vein is broken, the demon king is in pain. Han Shao summoned the summoning talisman and appeared outside the passage. Brother. The allies are here, the foundation building group is here. Ye Zhi's intelligence projected the conspiracy of the Su family, and Wang Defa's mutated kneeling statue was scattered all over the demon city. Zhao Taizhan reunited, great hero, the Su family is broken. The burnt smoke on the blood ground swirled like a black dragon, and the burning smell of sulfur clouds mixed with the rotten smell of green blood, choking the nose like a knife. At the end of the passage, thunder arcs struck like thousands of swords, and gravels poured down, hitting the hair of the remaining elder of the Su family with sparks flying. The 9 of them were at the peak of their foundation building. The crane's face was pale, their knees were smashed into the ground with blood, their black robes were scorched to the edge by the thunder, the crane's claws were trembling like dead leaves in the wind, the second elder Su Tian's blood pupils shrank into needles, his throat was rolling, and his voice was as broken as crying blood, heaven. God, have mercy. The master's corpse attack was forced by the demon king. Our branch of the Su family only controls the skin of the political merchant, and the demon's parasitic depth has been cut off. I am willing to offer all my clan's allegiance to the sect. The other elders kowtowed together with a dong-dong, their foreheads were bloody, and the embers of the demonic ink locks fell to the ground with a clack, and the smell of burnt meat filled the air. Han Zhao's sternum was shattered and the pain was like burning fire. He crawled to his knees on the bloody ground, and black blood dripped down and stretched the silk thread. His livid face was distorted and he laughed wildly with despair. Senior brother. The Su family is kneeling. But the demons outside the passage are stampeding on the blood with dong 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 like thunder. There are only 50 allies in the foundation group, and they cannot withstand the surge. The blood-red projection of the scroll locks my heart veins, the demon king sucks the spiritual veins, and the demon city is completely overwhelmed. The blood hole on Ye Zhi's shoulder bubbled up, and the force of the white mist gun flowed back into her dantian like thousands of needles. She gritted her teeth and raised her eyes to become bloodshot, and her excitement and trembling voice suddenly became solemn. Master's divine power instantly kills the golden elixir, and the Su family's shady projection network exploded in the demon city. The mutant SWAT surrounded the SUV and collapsed, and the red mist in Pudong swallowed up the high-rise buildings. The mortal troops, turned into cannon fodder. Luo Li's silver hair was stained with blood, and her demonic ears trembled slightly as she felt the pain of awakening her bloodline. She curled up and whispered, pointing to the hidden door of the altar, "My benefactor, the spiritual veins are weak, and Luo Li sneaks in to break them, but the Wanya blood gate is fully opened, and my bloodline is afraid of being swallowed up." The warm white dress tore her jade arm with bloody traces, and the pieces of the thunder-patterned jade pendant clinked to the ground. Her soft eyes were filled with tears and despair, and her jade hand pressed her chest with a broken voice, "Senior brother." The moment the thunder array was left to protect the wall, the Su family's intelligence was fully revealed. The demon king controls the source of the spiritual veins of the demon city, the demonic aura that has been gathering for hundreds of years underground in Pudong's finance, and the Su family's lineage in the upper realm is suspected to be the descendant of the demon queen. Chu Tian sat cross-legged among the blood vines, the 3-inch flying sword hanging from his palm buzzed with silver light, and the thunder pattern swam like a living snake. The rudimentary form of the golden elixir in his dantian was loosened, but it was crushed by the golden calamity like a giant mountain. The reverse blood spurted out with "wow" and splashed red in front of his knees. The frost in his eyes was hesitant and disappeared instantly, and he was as calm as deep. Yuan's calculation, the remnant elders of the Su family knelt down and pledged their allegiance to expand the sect's outer guards. Zhao Taizhan and Wang De took the secular forces as a secluded base. Before cutting off the spiritual veins, they must plan to counterattack the Demon King and the demon species. However, the tide of monsters surged, the golden tribulation locked the spirits, and if the bottleneck at the peak of Foundation building was not broken, the sect's prototype would be wiped out. His heart sank, and his mind flashed back to the 3 years of hiding in the world and the loneliness of hunting monsters, his junior brothers and sisters accompanying each other in blood, Ye Zhi's mortal soul bowing to him, Luo Li's demon blood turning loyal. He couldn't die in this battle. Kneading the secret with one hand, the spiritual power rushed back like a river bursting its embankment and imploding with a boom. Bloodshot eyes oozed from the corners of his mouth, but he shouted, the 9th elder of the Su family, blood oath to join the sect. At the peak of Foundation building, you will present the magic weapon, and the outer sect of the political controller will listen. Zhao Taizhan, Wang Defa Mortal Deputy Bureau, accepted as the outer sect protector. The Demon City Police Department built a hidden base to cut off the Demon King's spiritual veins. After saying this, the silver light of the flying sword exploded 3 times, whoosh, 9 sword shadows penetrated the void and pierced the demon seed between the eyebrows of the 9th elder. The Su Tian crane's eyes widened, its claws clawed at the air and, whooshed, its voice trembled like a thunderstrike, God's sword will lock the soul. I will swear allegiance to the death. The 9 elders bit their tongues and swore blood oaths, puff, the blood mist fountain soared into the sky, pop, the demon seed exploded with green juice splashing on the ground and corroded the blood vines, zizi, the Taoist robes turned into silver thunder patterns, their crane faces turned into ecstasy, and they shouted in unison, long live the sect master. The branch of the Su family has built a foundation for 300 years, and the political and business network has dedicated itself to the Demon City base. Han Zhao's eyes widened with blood, and he laughed wildly, brother, the outer gate of the Su family has built a foundation for 300 times, and the sect has increased tenfold. Ye Zhi's eyes flashed with tears of admiration, and she gritted her teeth as she forgot about her shoulder injury. Master Zhao Taizhan is reuniting, and I will lead the mortal troops to assist, and Wang Defa will use the city bureau cellar as a base. The radio buzzed, and Zhao Taizhan gasped like an ox, Hero's Oracle. Wang Defa mutated and knelt down, all special police officers were infected with the epidemic and obeyed orders. I dispatched 500 mortal elite SUVs to escort, the city bureau built a hidden world underground array, the demons are swarming around. Chu Tian felt slightly relieved, but he felt the pressure of the golden calamity cloud was even lower, booming, and the lightning arcs frequently hitting the passage, slapping, like whips drawing flesh and blood. His psychological game started again. The outer gate has just been established, and it must be broken quickly. Looking at Su Nuan, junior sister, pass me the high-level mental skills to help the prototype of the golden elixir overcome the bottleneck. Su Nuan's pale face and soft eyes burst into admiration. She endured the blood pain in her arms and pointed at the center of Chu Tian's eyebrows, buzz. The golden light mental skills poured into it like a river. Senior brothers, thunder tribulation Tian Mai Ju, the peak of Foundation building. Melting the calamity cloud into the golden elixir, the secret of the Su family in the upper realm, is presented to the sect master. Chu Tian's dantian was shaken, and the prototype of the golden elixir expanded 3 inches. The calamity pressure was reversed into nutrients, and the reverse blood flow stopped. His eyes were filled with cold light, and he said in a low voice, okay. Junior brother Han, the blood-red scroll has been cracked. Han Zhao's sternum clicked to reset, and the remnants of the phantom chain loomed. He crawled close to the bloody hand and pressed the scroll, buzzing. The runes were as red as a living snake and squirmed, swirling. His face suddenly turned livid and turned ecstatic, brother. The ultimate mystery is solved, the Demon King is not a single demon, but the Demon Emperor from the upper realm is distracted and controls the spiritual veins of the Demon City. The source of centuries-old spiritual veins is gathered in the Pudong financial underground. Cut off the aid. Everyone gasped. Luo Li's silver-haired demon ears alerted, benefactor. Luo Li's bloodline is mature, sneaked into the hidden door of the altar to cut off the spiritual veins. Ye Zhi gathered energy and white mist and came back to life, her beautiful eyes were firm. Master. Come in, I will lead Zhao Tishan's mortal troops to assist in the battle, and the spear array will suppress the demon soldiers. The 9 elders of the Su family pinched their crane claws together, and the ink locks turned to the silver thunder net to protect the wall. Sect Master. Use the 300-branch foundation building remote control magic weapons to destroy the Su family's main branch. Dong dong dong, outside the passage, the tide of monsters surges like the Black Sea, the blood mist, whooshes, hits the face, the sulfur and bloody blood is like a tsunami, the Minotaur monster soldiers with minions and green eyes smile ferociously, and the leading demon general roars, boom, like thunder, destroy the Chu Tian sect. Chu Tian's heart sank again, the outer sect has just been established, and the strategy must be quick. One of his knees started to bleed, and the 3-inch flying sword came out of his palm. Buzz, thunder pattern exploded at 5 times the range. The remote control navigation locked the master of the Su family's lineage, the 10th peak of political and business hidden world foundation building, lurking in the branches of the demon nest in the high-rise buildings in Pudong. The sword's shadow, swish swish, penetrated the void, and the navigation blood mist ignored the golden tribulation lock spirit and pierced the map projection of the magic city, puff puff puff, of the Su family branch underground in the financial district. In the distance, the high-rise buildings in Pudong exploded with a boom, golden light and blood mist rose into the sky, the elders of the Su family twisted their faces in the shadow of the sword and shot their heads, bang bang, the fountain of green blood brain matter, pop bang, stained the floor-to-ceiling windows red, and the mortal passers-by stared and screamed, God's punishment. Su. The family monster destroyed the family. With one sword, the branch lineage was destroyed and the whole branch was destroyed. The radio went silent. Su Tieshuan's crane eyes widened and he roared, the clan master's flying sword ghost. Penetrated the Jindan defense, destroyed the branch lineage with one sword, and the entire Su family fell to their knees. Han Xiao Shuamo laughed wildly and the chain revived, senior brother is invincible. The scroll runes turn to gold, and the spiritual vein weakness is locked. Su Nuan poured the remaining power of her mind into her hand, and the thunder formation wall sizzled to expand the protection of the crowd. Senior brother, the prototype of the golden elixir is stable, the sect base is rising. Ye Zhi radio roared, Zhao Tai's Han. The mortal troops are pressing forward, and Luo Li sneaks in with the help of a hail of bullets. Luo Li flicked her silver hair, and the invisible blood shadow of the demon body swished through the hidden door. The cracks in the passage wall swallowed her figure. She whispered and echoed, benefactor, my spiritual veins are broken, I will fight to the death. Zhao Tishan's SUV roared and rushed into the demon tide, and the special police's mutant gun array fired, tat tat tat. Wang Defa knelt down and mutated and shouted, hero sect. The city bureau cellar formation is like a rainstorm. The demon soldier's skin and flesh were torn apart with a snap, the green blood splashed on the ground with a stench that hit your nostrils, the tide of demon soldiers surged and stagnated, the foundation building allies 50 silver light exploded and buzzed in a combined attack, and the 300 ink locks at the outer door of the Su family turned around and the thunder net covered the demon tides, sizzling. Evaporation of flesh and blood, and the stench rose to the sky. Chu Tian sat cross-legged to move his mind, and the prototype of the golden elixir boomed to expand and absorb the nutrients of the calamity cloud. The bottleneck loosened like a river breaking a dam. His psychological game turned happy, the sect surged, the outer sect controlled the demon city, and the spiritual veins were broken and the situation was reversed. But the gulu gulu blood pool in the distance boiled even more violently, and the demon king's maniacal laughter rolled like thunder through the clouds, little insect sect. The servants of the Su family are dead. My demon species absorbs the source of spiritual veins and breaks through the demon emperor realm. The golden calamity cloud suddenly thickened thousands of feet, boom boom, and the pool exploded with blood waves, and the demon king's true body wrapped in wings stepped out of the blood. The black scales and golden eyes were like mountains. The demonic energy surged into the sky and pressed the channel, whoosh. 10,000 demons knelt and kowtowed, dong dong. They personally led the army to press the sea of blood, and the air was twisted and sulphurous and bloody like the end of the world. Everyone's heart suddenly sank, Su Tian's face turned pale and he trembled, Sect Master. Demon King realm, the spiritual vein is not broken. Chu Tian's eyes locked the blood pool with a cold light, and the flying sword buzzed and gathered momentum. The Demon King's black-scaled wings cover the sky like mountains, and the golden pupils of blood light burst out like lasers sweeping across the end of the passage. The demonic energy, whooshes, twists the air into a whirlpool, and the bloody sulfur blows on his face like 10,000 corpses rotting. The sea of blood of 10,000 demons, gurgles, rolls, and the minions of the minotaur-headed demon soldiers grind their claws and grind their green eyes. They roar in a ferocious smile, Sect Worm. Blood sacrifice swallows the spiritual veins. The passage wall rumps and shatters the gravel. Like rain falling down, Su Tian Crane's face turned as white as paper, his claws trembled and smashed into the deep pit of blood, and his throat clucked and made a desperate sound, Sect Master. The real body of the Demon Emperor realm is pressing down on the realm, and our 300 foundation building thunder nets can't withstand the tide of blood. Han Zhao's livid face twisted and blood sprayed wildly, the phantom chain buzzed, but was locked by the magic pressure, and his knees hit the ground with a dong and roared, Brother. Although the golden talisman of the scroll locks the weakness, the Demon King and Demon Seed absorbed the spiritual vein source, my chain is broken by 30%, and the foundation building ally is 50 silver light, engulfed in green blood. Ye Zhi's eyes were filled with blood and her eyes widened, the blood hole on her shoulder was bubbling with pain like fire, the white mist gun was revived with frost, but the barrel was melting, she gritted her teeth and the radio clicked intermittently, Zhao Taizhan, the SUV collapsed, the armor of 500 mortal elites was stained with green blood, the mutant roar of the special police was useless. And the foundation of Wang Defa's city bureau's cellar was cracked. The demon soldier's claws tore through the steel plate, Ga. Luo Li sneaked into the hidden door, her silver hair stained with blood, her demon ears trembled with pain like thousands of needles, she curled up and whispered, and the blood echoed, Benefactor. The blood from the source of the spiritual vein is boiling, Luo Li breaks it, the blood comes back to swallow me. Su Nuan's white skirt was streaked with blood marks and her jade arms trembled. Sparks splashed across the wall of the thunder array and shrank. Tears flashed in her soft eyes in despair. She pressed her hand on her chest and made a broken voice, Senior brother, the thunder tribulation heaven meridian Jew helped loosen the embryonic form of the golden elixir. However, the Demon King was distracted and suppressed his body. The robbery cloud locked the spiritual veins thousands of feet away. The outer guards of the sect were reduced to ashes. The blood waves of the demons crashed into the thunder net, and the stench of burnt flesh steamed into the sky. The silver light of the foundation building allies combined to smash the green blood fountain, and the 300 outer gate thunder nets of the Su family evaporated, but the demon soldiers retreated with twisted faces, Sect Master, save the blood. The sea is endless. The Demon King's golden eyes locked on Chu Tian, and his sneer rolled like thunder, the hidden insect is building a bottleneck, the Su family is kneeling down to pay allegiance. The Demon Emperor in the upper realm is distracted, the source of the demon city's century-old spiritual veins are gathering underground in Pudong, and now the blood sacrifice has begun and the Demon Emperor's body has come, and all the ordinary ants in politics and business are gone. Become nourishment. The wings fanned and the blood wind was like a knife shaving the face. The blood pool at the end of the passage exploded and the blood column shot straight into the golden calamity cloud. The thunder arc struck and cracked like a whip, beating everyone's flesh and blood. Everyone's heart fell into the abyss. Han Xiao Shuamo roared, Senior brother, desperate situation. Chu Tian sat cross-legged among the blood vines, the 3-inch flying sword hanging from his palm, buzzed, and the thunder pattern swam like a wild snake. The prototype of the golden elixir, Bang, sucked the nutrients of the calamity cloud and expanded 5 inches. His dantian reversed like a volcano gaining momentum. His eyes were filled with frost and cold light looked contemptuous. He wiped the bloodshot eyes from the corner of his mouth and shouted calmly like an abyss, "The demon emperor is distracted? The source of the spiritual veins of the demon city?" The outer gate of the Su family obeyed the order, and the thunder net expanded 3 times to cover the sea of blood. Han junior brother chained up the demon army, junior sister Su Nuan melted the talisman with the thunder array to protect the crowd, Ye Zhi adjusted the mortal spear array to suppress the auxiliary, Luo Li cut off the source of the spiritual veins, the sect is invincible, destroy it. After saying that, the spiritual power of the one-handed seal burst the embankment and imploded, the flying sword's silver light exploded 10 times the range and, buzzed, the remote control navigation, the sword's shadow, swished thousands of way through the void like a group of dancing silver dragons, piercing the blood sea of 10,000 demons. Su Tieshuan's crane's eyes were as wide as copper bells, its claws trembled wildly as it grabbed the air, and its voice trembled with ecstasy. It turned into a frenzy, sect leaders flying sword ghost and god. 10 times the range to penetrate the golden tribulation and lock the spirit, thousands of swords will kill in groups. The sword shadow locked demon soldiers' eyebrows, puff puff, and the headshot of the green blood brain material, plop, spewed out. The spring dyed the sea of blood, and the minotaur demon soldier's green eyes protruded and claws danced wildly and fell to the ground twitching. The blood sea stagnated and thousands of demons flew away. The rotten smell of green blood in the air hit the nostrils like a tsunami. The 300 foundation building cranes of the Su family roared and worshipped, sect master's heavenly sword. Destroy thousands of demons in an instant, and we will assist with the thunder net to kill. Han Xiaotia's green eyes were bloodshot, he laughed wildly with blood foam, and the chain revived. 10 buzzing phantoms burst into the sea of blood, and the soul of the demon-locking soldier, Kala, shattered and pulled the green blood thread. He roared in the passage, "Brother Oracle. The chain seals the tide, and the soul of the demon soldier is shattered into 10,000 pieces." Su Nuan's jade eyes flashed with tears of admiration, and the jade-locked soldier burst into tears. Pressed the broken jade pendant with her hand and, buzz, the thunder calamity talisman. The golden light melts into the wall of the thunder array and expands 5 times. The gun whooshed, and the white mist and bullets rained down to kill the monster soldiers. She shouted over the radio, "Zhao Taizhan, Wang Defa." The ordinary SUV's guns are pressing down, and the special police's mutant claw array is tearing away the monster's skin. Zhao Taizhan gasped heavily. The rain of bullets tore the monster's flesh apart. Wang De sent out his mutated roar and led the special police gun array to blast the monster's head with a bang bang. His radio trembled, the power of the master. The base of the city bureau's cellar array is connected to the thunder network, and the ordinary people obey orders to suppress the sea of blood. The mortal bullets rained like a rain, and the monster soldier's skin was torn and flesh was charred and the smell was rising to the sky. Luo Li's blood shadow swooshed deep into the hidden door of the altar, her silver hair danced wildly, her demon ears were alert, and her bloodline backfired and burned her heart. She clawed at the crack of the blood sacrifice at the source of her spiritual veins, and green blood spurted out, goo-goo, to swallow her figure. The whisper echoed to death, "Benefactor, break." The demon king's golden eyes suddenly shrank, his wings fanned wildly, whoosh, the blood wind suppressed the sword's shadow, and his black scale claws, bang, smashed against the thunder net, sparks flew everywhere, and the demonic energy rushed. The 4 people from Tiansua jointly attacked, the little bugs are colluding. I, the demon king, are swallowing you and so on. Han Zhao's chain first charged, buzz, wrapped around the demon king's black scales, Kara, and pulled the magic energy thread. Su Nuan's thunder array arc, crack, whip, the golden eyes are burning, the meat smells scorched, Ye Zhi's white mist gun is powerful, whoosh, the condensing bullet pierces the wing membrane, sizzling, green blood is bubbling, Luo Li's blood shadow looms, the claws are broken, the spiritual veins are broken, poof. The source of the green juice fountain is exhausted. The demon king roared like thunder through the clouds, spiritual veins broken. You ants. The four of them fought together in a bloody battle. Han Zhao's sternum cracked again and blood spurted out. He laughed wildly, brother. The demon king's demon species has withered by 30%. Su Nuan's jade arms burst with blood marks. Her eyes were firm, together we can conquer the imperial realm. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes were in admiration due to the pain in her shoulder, master's divine plan, for strikes to seal the demon. Luo Li's silver hair was stained with green blood and her demonic ears twitched, my benefactor, the source is cut off, but the bloodline is preserved. The source of the demon king's demon seed-absorbing spiritual veins has dried up, and the golden pupils burst with blood, trying to open all the spiritual veins in the demon city and become demons. The blood pool, rumps and the blood waves rush into the golden clouds. It attracts the king's thunder, which is thousands of feet thick. The demon king grinned ferociously, the sky thunder helps my demon emperor descend. Chu Tian's eyes were filled with cold light, and the prototype of the golden elixir boomed to absorb the thunder calamity heaven pulse secret and fully opened and expanded 7 inches. He touched the thunder calamity talisman with one hand and buzzed, the golden light exploded covering the entire audience. The amulet turned into calamity cloud nutrients and reversed the sky thunder. Su Tieshuan's crane eyes protruded and trembled, roaring, the talisman of the sect master is against the sky. The king's heavenly thunder turns into nutrients, and backfires on the demon king's distraction. Han Zhao's blood-foamed eyes widened and the chain vibrated wildly, senior brother's trump card. The golden elixir is invincible. Ye Zhi's eyes filled with tears. Worship, master's talisman, mortals bow down. Zhao Tieshan's SUV, with thick eyes and wide eyes, roared over the radio, heroes, talisman gods. Mortals will kill with rain of bullets. Wang Defa's mutated claws trembled and knelt down, the sect leader is the only one. Chu Tian's knee was bleeding, the 3-inch flying sword's thunder patterns exploded 20 times, buzzing, the silver dragon roared, and the remote control navigation locked demon king's golden pupil, swish, sword penetrated the void ghost, ignoring the black scale defense, and pierced the head, poof. The demon king's golden eyes widened and his black scales stiffened, the demon species, popped, and exploded with green blood, his brain, squeaked, and the fountain shot up into the sky and was stained with golden clouds. His wings, whispered, and fell into the sea of blood and twitched. The conspiracy was revealed, the scroll golden talisman projected the devil's spiritual veins network collapsed, the demon king wanted to start the Pudong underground to gather together for 100 years to become a demon, and the Su family's descendants of the demon queen were wiped out. The blood of all the monsters suddenly collapsed and Golu was exhausted. The monster soldiers with green eyes knelt down in fear and said, Dong Dong, God, have mercy. The 9th elder of the Su family, with a crane face, knelt fervently on the bloody ground, the master killed the emperor with one sword. The entire Su family built a political and commercial network with 300 people and dedicated it to the demon city base forever. Han Xiao climbed to his knees, foaming with blood, laughing wildly with tears in his eyes, brother, the prototype of the golden elixir has broken through. The sect is invincible. Su Nuan supported Chu with her hands. Tianrou's eyes burst into tears and worshipped, senior brother. Yonggu. Ye Zhi's eyes burst into tears and she knelt down, master is the only one, and the mortal forces are at your mercy. Luo Li's blood shadow appeared and knelt down with his silver hair disheveled, benefactor God, if you break your spiritual veins, the devil will be safe. Zhao Taizhan and Wang Defa stopped bleeding in the SUV and panted heavily in the sea, kneeling and knelt, hero of the clan leader. All the city bureau and police department are dedicated to the hidden base, and the mortal elites will die. The golden calamity clouds suddenly scattered, the afterglow of thunder spread across the passage, the blood pool dried up, the green blood evaporated, and the burnt odor gradually dispersed. The red mist on the high-rise buildings in Pudong Financial District receded. The night in the Magic City returned to neon calm, ordinary passers-by stared and screamed in ignorance, and the radio Ye Zhi restored the silence of the whole city. Chu Tian glanced at everyone, the flying sword returned to his palm and buzzed. He was the only one in the world with his aura. He said coldly, "The sect is rising, and the demon city is sweeping. The outer sect of the Su family controls politics and business, the secular police station is a hidden world foundation, and the alliance of cultivating immortals will hunt monsters forever." Everyone gathered together. He knelt down and, dong dong, his forehead was blurred with blood, his crane's face was livid, his beautiful eyes were silver, he was breathing heavily, and his mutated voice roared to the sky, "Long live the sect master! Invincible!" The burnt flesh and blood in the air faded away, and the relief was like a river bursting its banks, the magic city was reborn, and the legend began. At the end of the passage, the bloody and charred stench slowly recedes like a tide, green blood evaporates into mist, sizzle, winding around the towering walls, broken bones and demon corpses pile up like mountains, crack, with a light sound, the Pudong underground demon nest reflects a strange red light under the afterglow of the golden calamity. Su Tian's crane face twists with forehead covered in bloodstains, crane claws, bang bang, knock the ground into deep pits with 9 kowtows, voice trembling like a flickering candle in the wind as he roars, "Sect master, heavenly might." The Su family with 300 foundation builders, the entire clan in politics and business networks, eternally offers the Magic City base with a blood oath without regret. Surrounding Su family elders with crane eyes wide open and bloodshot, knees smashing the ground, thump thump, with blood splattering, their iron-blue faces twist into frenzied worship. Han Shao crawls on his knees with blood foam at the corner of his mouth, chest bones cracking, crack crack, as they reset, the phantom chains, buzz buzz, with residual vibrations, his iron-blue eyes with tears mixed with blood as he laughs wildly, "Senior brother, golden core breakthrough. The sect rises, invincible and sweeping all." Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes brim with tears, shoulder wound with blood hole, gurgle gurgle, seeping red, white mist gun energies residual frost condensing on the ground, she kneels like iron and grits her teeth in a low voice, "Master, Supreme. The mundane world obeys orders." Su Nuan use arms with blood marks wrapped around supporting Chu Tian's waist, her soft eyes bursting with worship like stars, the thunder calamity talisman's golden light fading with residual warmth burning the hand, "Senior brother, eternally solid." The sect renews. Luo Li's silver hair scattered and dyed with green blood, demon ears twitching, blood shadow kneels on the ground with claws scratching the rubble, crack crack, benefactor, heavenly god. Magic City is safe. Zhao Tieshan's SUV engine, roar roar, low humming stops at the edge of the blood sea, 500 elite mortals roughly panting and kneeling to kowtow on the armor, bang bang, Wang Defa's mutated claws trembling as he roars in a low voice, "Sect master, great hero." The police bureau is fully offered. Chu Tian rises on one knee with blood, his gaze sweeping over everyone, his aura like a deep abyss of cold frost, "Heaven and earth only I am supreme." The 3-inch flying sword returns to his palm, buzz buzz, with thunder patterns low humming absorbing heavenly thunder nutrients, the golden core prototype 7 inches stable in the dantian like a volcano accumulating energy. He speaks coldly like rolling thunder, the demon hunting sect, now established. Han Shao as the chief disciple in charge of the war hall, Ye Zhi in charge of the mundane branch to unify the city bureau police network, Su Nuan as the protective talisman hall master to refine the thunder calamity heavenly veins, Luo Li as the intelligence chief to probe the demon nest remnants. Su Taishan as the outer gate elder to control the politics, business, and spiritual veins, Zhao Taizhan and Wang Defa as protectors leading the elite mortals in hidden world bases. Clean up the remaining demons, upgrade the scrolls, sweep Magic City. As the words fall, spiritual pressure, boom, explodes the passage with wind rolling the residual mist, everyone with crane faces, iron blue expressions, beautiful eyes, silver hair, roughly panting and kneeling deeper, thump thump, with foreheads blurred by blood, Su Tian's crane claws trembling wildly as his eyes bulge and he roars, "Sect Master's holy decree." The Su family with 300 foundation builders immediately controls the Pudong financial spiritual vein network, all political and business mundane powers fully offered to the sect. Han Shao wipes away the blood foam and crawls up on his knees, the chains, buzz, vibrating again, his iron-blue face twisting in wild joy. Senior brother's chief disciple position, chief disciple Han Shao, War Hall invincible. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes firm with bursting worship, white mist gun spinning, whoosh, as she puts away the gun and kneels, "Master." The mundane branch Ye Zhi obeys orders. 500 elites expand the city bureau basement array base thunder net to the whole city. Su Nuan Yu's hand lightly presses Chu Tian's blood robe, her soft voice trembling. Protective talisman hall Su Nuan refines the heavenly vein formula, 100 thunder calamity talismans refined for the sect's immortality. Luo Li's demon ears alert, silver hair flinging green blood, bang, intelligence chief Luo Li, all remaining demon bloodlines fully probed. The sect is initially established, remaining demons in the passage, gaga, low roaring with thousands of remnant bull-headed human-bodied green-eyed ones fleeing in fear, the blood sea drying at the edge with sulfur and rotten stench assaulting the nose like a pit of 10,000 corpses. Su Tian's crane face sinks as the elder's crane claws form seals, buzz buzz, reactivating the thunder net, 300 foundation builders silver light combining to strike, sizzle, covering the passage, demon soldiers claws flailing wildly, crack, colliding with the net, charred flesh stench rushing to the sky as they explode into green blood fountains. Han Shao, as the chief disciple, in his first battle, 10 phantom chains, whoosh whoosh, burst charging into the thousands of demons' foreheads, pop pop, tearing their souls into shattered threads, his iron-blue eyes bulging as he laughs wildly, War Hall's first kill. Remaining demons' souls shattered. Ye Zhi's mundane branch white mist gun energy, whoosh whoosh, like bullet rain assisting the kill, Zhao Tai's Han and Wang Defa's SUV, roar roar, crushing demon corpses, 500 elites, tat tat tat, with bullets tearing skin, bang bang, green juice splattering everywhere, Wang Defa's mutated roar shaking the ears, mundane branch suppression. Remaining demons turned to ashes. Luo Li's blood shadow appearing and disappearing, claws breaking demon soldiers' throats, gaga, with green blood gurgling, intelligence chief's demon ears twitching violently as she whispers, 9 remnant nests, Pudong outskirts. Su Nuan's protective talisman hall jade hand flings a golden talisman, buzz, covering everyone with thunder arcs for protection, demon claws smashing the talisman, bang bang, sparking backfire burning demon flesh black. Chu Tian's gaze contemptuous, flying sword low humming without emerging, everyone on the side kills 10,000 demons turning to ashes, the passage clears, Su Tian's crane face fanatical as he kowtows, sect master's divine strategy. Outer gate thunder net assisting to kill remnants in an instant, politics and business networks controlling the whole city's spiritual veins without worry. The blood mist completely disperses, Chu Tian flips out the heavenly realm messenger scroll with his single palm, the golden symbol projecting the magic city spiritual vein network collapsing with afterglow flickering, the demon king's conspiracy and Su family demon emperor descendants fully exterminated. He drops blood on his palm, bang, with red light seeping into the scroll, buzz buzz, golden light exploding in the passage like the rising sun, the scroll recognizes the master and upgrades with silver edges of thunder patterns wandering, a new mystery projected, outer domain spiritual vein abnormalities, upper realm demon emperor's residual thoughts lurking. Su Tian's crane eyes bulge and crane claws tremble as he roars, sect master's scroll recognizes the master. Golden Core early stage heavenly vein formula upgraded, magic city full network projected, outer domain demon shadows appearing. Han Zhao's iron blue face wipes clean the blood foam, chains returning to his body with bursting worship, senior brother's trump card upgraded. War Hall hunts the outer domain. Everyone with crane eyes, beautiful eyes staring at the scroll's silver light together, the air with thunder rumbles low like heavenly Tao's approval. The neon lights of the magic city return to light at night, the red mist of the financial high-rise buildings in Pudong receded, and ordinary passers-by screamed for peace. The sects rose to the surface and the Su family economics and commercial helicopters landed with a boom. Zhao Taizhan and Wang Defa led 500 elite armored vehicles to line up in a quacking formation. The hidden underground base network in the city bureau's cellar was Ye Zhi. Chu Tian walked out of the demon lair wrapped in a low-key black robe, flying swords hidden in his sleeves with thunder patterns. Han Xiao, Ye Zhi, Su Nuan, Luoli, Su Tian followed, and the mortal police network knelt down in worship and dong dong. Suddenly, the strange projection of spiritual pulses in the outer realm attracted uninvited guests. The three elders of the Zuanshaman, a family of cultivators in the outer realm, drove a cloud boat with a roar that tore the night sky apart and descended on Pudong Square. The golden scales of the boat shone at the peak of the spiritual pressure foundation and crushed the entire audience. The sulphurous and bloody air condensed again. Xian Wuji, the great elder of the Xiantian sect, with his white beard fluttering in the middle of the golden elixir, looked at the crowd proudly, and the crane-robed hunter sneered like thunder. The demon city is in chaos. The remnants of the Su family kneel down to mortals. The hidden insect builds a bottleneck to establish a sect on its own. I, the Xiantian sect, have controlled the spiritual veins of the outside world for hundreds of years. You and the Pudong blood sacrifice demon king's plot, and the descendants of the Su family's demon queen have all been wiped out. It must be a conspiracy. Kill the demon. Kneel down and offer the source of your spiritual veins, or you will destroy the sect in one fell swoop. The second elder Xian Tai smashed the marble in the square with a bang and cracked it. The mortal passers-by in the square stared and screamed. The neon lights burst into pieces. Her knees banged on the ground and she roared, "Senior brother. The family in the outer world is snobbish, the scroll upgrade projection is not enough, the battle hall is shattered." Ye Zhi's eyes were filled with bloodshot eyes, and the white mist of the gun came back to life. The tears in Su Nuan's jade eyes flickered with despair, and the golden light of the amulet shrank and popped the sparks. Luo Liao's ears trembled and his bloodline shrank in pain. My benefactor, Xian Tianzhou's spiritual pressure swallowed up the information. Elder Su's face twisted and he retreated wildly. Sect master, save. The family boat will destroy the sect. The mortal passers-by screamed with bloody flesh, the heavenly power of the cultivating family. The hidden sect kneels down. The snobbish eyes taunted, and everyone's heads fell into the abyss. The shadow of the black iron fist smashed into the cycad soul thunder net with a swish and a kara. The green blood did not disperse and added to the scorched smell. Chu Tian, in black robe, stood low-key behind the crowd. His eyes were hidden by frost, his mouth was bloodshot and he was as calm as an abyss, and the flying sword sleeves buzzed with thunder patterns gathering momentum. Xian Wuji's golden elixir eyes were locked on Chu Tian, and he sneered and sneered, "Little Chong sect master's foundation building bottleneck? Hidden world inheritance joke, kneeling down to present the scroll Pudong spiritual vein, my Xiantian sect accepts you as an outer sect slave." The golden scale boom spirit cannon on the boat charged up and swallowed the sky with red light, and the neon lights in the square shattered and the bloody wind hit the nostrils. Su Tian's crane eyes widened and he roared in despair, "Sect master. The cannons in the middle stage of the golden elixir will destroy the city." Han Xiao smashed his bloody knees, "Senior brother, the situation is desperate." The beautiful eyes of all the cranes trembled and fell to the bottom of the valley. Suddenly Chu Tian's eyes were filled with cold light. He pulled out a 3-inch flying sword in one hand and buzzed. The thunder patterns exploded with a range of 30 times. The silver dragon roared, and the remote control navigation locked the golden scale core of Xiantianzhou. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, 1,000 swords penetrated the void and ghosts ignored the defense of the golden elixir and pierced the heart of the boat. Puff puff puff. Xian Wuji's white beard shrank suddenly, his golden elixir spiritual pressure stiffened, his eyes bulged and he stared in despair. Flying sword, 20 times more ghosts and gods. The golden elixir's midterm defense is shattered. The boat's body, bang, bursting with golden scales, brain matter, green blood, swish, the fountain soared into the sky and stained the night sky. the red light of the spirit cannon splashed back, snap, the sparks splashed in all directions, the boat crashed and, dong, hit the deep pit in the square, and the smell of sulfur and burnt spirit blood mixed with it was like purgatory. Xian Tai Fist paused and his stiff face twisted with regret and roared, "Sect Master. I am snobbish and wrong. I am dedicating my spiritual veins to the sect." Xuan girl's jade fingers were broken and the frost shone. Her beautiful eyes were full of tears and she knelt down in despair. "The heavenly sword has leveled the boat in an instant." Zuanshanmen kneels down to pledge allegiance. Su Tian's crane eyes protruded and its claws trembled wildly, whoosh, and grabbed the air. The voice trembled with ecstasy and turned into a frenzy. "The master leveled the mountain with one sword." Xian Tianzhou's golden elixir was instantly destroyed in the middle stage, and there was no need for Su Jia's thunder net to assist in killing. Han Xiaotia's green eyes were bloodshot, and he laughed wildly with blood foam as the chain revived, "Senior brother's divine sword." The war hall's first victory in the outer realm. Ye Zhi's eyes burst into tears of admiration, and the white mist spear, swish, assisted in killing the disabled person. Ling, master is the only master. Bullets rained down on all branches of the family. Zhao Tieshan's eyes widened and bullets rained down on the family. Zhao Tieshan's eyes widened and the SUV rushed forward with a tap-tat bullet to tear the boat apart. Wang De sent out his mutant claws and roared and knelt down, "Heavenly sword of heroes. The whole police station worships." Su Nuan's jade eyes softly worshipped and her jade hands pressed the amulet, with golden light to protect the crowd. "Senior brother is invincible. Protector Hall Wenzong." Luo Li's silver-haired demon ear alerted, "The information about the benefactor is up. The entire Zuanshanmen lair is here." The passers-by stared and knelt with their foreheads banging on the neon ground, and the crane-faced elder of the Su family roared, "Long live the demonic city." The team gasped for breath, the bloody ground was filled with smoke, the remaining elders of the Su family knelt and trembled and begged for mercy, and the remaining demon soldiers regained their strength and kowtowed. But the golden calamity clouds in the sky became thicker and booming, and the blood-red flashing projection of the scroll, the order for the explosion of the body of the head of the Su family, and the wave of demons in the whole demon city. "The general attack is launched, destroy the Chu Tian sect." Dong dong dong, outside the passage 10,000 demons came stampeding with blood, the black clouds were overwhelming, sulphurous blood was like a tsunami, and everyone's heart sank to the bottom of the valley again. Xian Wuji, with his white beard stained with blood, crawled onto the boat and knelt down with regret and twists. "Sect Master. I mistakenly recognized Xiaochong. The Pudong spiritual veins and outer domain network are all dedicated, and Zuanshanmen's 300 golden elixirs are at the mercy of the outer gate." Chu Tian scorned the flying sword and buzzed in his palm, and said coldly, "A snobbish family, kneeling on the sect to hunt monsters. Get out." Everyone, with green eyes and silver hair, gasped loudly and roared to the sky, "The master leveled the mountain with one sword. The demon-hunting sect is invincible." The blood in the air faded, and the feeling was like a tsunami sweeping through the magic city. The neon lights of Pudong Square rekindled like a river of stars pouring down, the blood stains on the gravel sizzled and evaporated the residual warmth of spiritual energy, the wreckage of the Xiantian boat, the golden scales twisted and cracked and slowly cooled in the deep pit, and the scorched blood and blood mixed with the mist hit the nostrils like the aroma of post-war wine. Mortal passers-by hit their knees on the ground with a bang, their foreheads blurred with blood, and their screams turned into fervent roars, "Master of the Heavenly Sword Sect. Savior of the demonic city." The Su family's political and business helicopters circled with a boom and sprinkled golden dust and spiritual rain. The high-rise financial buildings in Pudong were all brightly lit, and the faint thunder network, buzzed, expanded 5 times to integrate the talisman veins, and the political and business network controlled the entire city's spiritual veins. Zhao Taizhan gasped heavily, the SUV engine roared low, 500 mortal elite armored vehicles lined up and knelt down, banged their rifle butts on the ground, and Wang Defa's mutated claws trembled and wiped his tears and shouted, "Hero of the sect master. City Bureau, Ground Force. The Jiao Formation Ji-Lei network is expanding throughout the city, and the common people will always obey. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes were full of tears of admiration, and the white mist spear was still frosty on the ground. She knelt down and commanded the army in a straight voice, "Master alone, 500 elites. To suppress the remaining power of the family, all the branches are now the iron guards of the demon city." Han Shaotai wiped away the blood on his face, and the phantom chains buzzed 10 times around his body. He stood up on his knees and laughed wildly, "Senior brother, divine sword Pingzhou." The disciple Han Shao is the first to collect 300 golden elixirs from the outer realm. Su Nuan's jade arm caressed the blood stains on Chu Tian's black robe, her soft eyes were like stars bursting with soft light, and the golden light of the thunder tribulation talisman faded away, and her warm palms were warmed, "Senior brother Yonggu." Talisman Tang Balian heavenly vein, the immortal cornerstone of the sect. Luo Li's silver hair was scattered and her demonic ears trembled slightly. The remaining green blood evaporated from her blood shadow claws. She lowered her head and kowtowed and trembled, "Benefactor God. Xuantian's lair love. The remnants of the 9 nests in Pudong will be wiped out." Su Tieshuan's crane-like face raped fervently on the ground, his eyes blurred with blood and his eyes widened. "The Su family's 300-year-old sword has leveled the mountain. Pudong's spiritual veins will be dedicated to the demon-hunting sect forever." The outer gate of the 300 golden elixirs of the domain's spiritual veins, listen to the instructions and offer the source immediately. Chu Tian's body was wrapped in black robe, and his aura was as low-key as the frost of the abyss. He flipped the heavenly messenger's scroll with one palm, and the silver-edged thunder pattern roamed, buzzing, to absorb the afterglow of the spiritual veins. The 7-inch golden elixir prototype stabilized the Dantian volcano and gathered momentum. His eyes swept away everyone with disdain, and his cold voice rolled like thunder, "The demon-hunting sect is established, and the demon city is at peace. The 3 elders of Xiantian, the deputy elder of the outer sect, are in charge of the outer domain network. Su Tieshuan assists the political and business spiritual veins. Clean up the trivial matters, upgrade the scroll to project a new shadow, the demon emperor of the upper world awakens, and the deep sea of blood in Pudong resumes." Luo Li navigates, Han Shao, Ye Zhi and Su Nuan accompany them, and the team goes deep into the source of the spiritual veins. The rest of the people press the formation to expand the spiritual pressure. Boom exploded in the square, the wind and fog dispersed, and everyone with their beautiful eyes and silver hair gasped and knelt down deeper. Boom, boom, Su Tieshuan's crane claws trembled wildly and grabbed the air and roared, "The sect leader's holy plan. The outer gate thunder net is expanded. City, the political and commercial helicopter escort team." The livid face was ecstatic, "Zhantong will follow my senior brother to hunt the demon king." Ye Zhi's white mist gun whirled and sheathed, and her beautiful eyes firmly knelt down. 500 elite armors from all branches are pressing the spiritual veins, "Master has no worries." Su Nuan waved the ultimate amulet with a golden light and snapped, "The Martian Guardian team, Su Nuan of the Amulet Hall, the ultimate Thunder Calamity Heavenly Vein Talisman is fully activated. Reporter navigation, full investigation of the ancient demon emperor's conspiracy in the deep sea of blood." Zhao Taizhan roared and knelt down, "The city bureau's thunder network assists the killing." The sense of accomplishment in the square swept through, and the mortal passers-by whispered, "The sect master's fame is shocking in the demon city. The hidden inheritance has swept away the demons of the family." Under the neon light, the air is full of freshness, and the sect's initial achievements are abundant, and the treasures of fame and status are harvested. The team immediately moved, and the helicopter, boom, carried Chu Tian Han Shao Yi Jisu Nuan Luo Li Xian Wuji Su Tieshuan, tearing the night sky and diving towards the underground spiritual vein source in Pudong. Luo Li's silver hair danced wildly, her demonic ears twitched, and her blood shadow claws projected the traces of the 9 nests of the remnants being wiped out. She whispered and trembled, "My benefactor. The deep blood sea is filled with the demon emperor's lingering thoughts, and the ancient demon emperor's conspiracy to revive. The descendants of the demon queen of the Su family sacrificed the source of the spiritual veins, and the emperor's guards at the peak of foundation building guarded the blood pool boiling. The putrid smell of sulfur in the cabin became stronger and thicker, and the spiritual veins moved, rumbling, and the ground cracked with hundreds of feet of red mist steaming. Chu Tian's eyes were filled with frost, the buzzing, thunder patterns in the flying sword sleeves were humming, and the 3-inch sword absorbed the nutrients from the spiritual veins of the outside world to become more refined. Han Xiaotie's blue eyes widened as the chain revived. Senior brother. 1,000 heads of the Imperial Guard. Soul sealing in the battle hall. Ye Zhi's eyes were bloodshot and she clenched the gun with white mist and frost. Master, the mortal branches are pressing on the outside of the formation. Su Nuan's jade eyes were soft and firm as she flicked the amulet, the ultimate talisman Team Tian Mai fully open. Xian Wuji, with his white beard and trembling crane robe, said, Sect Master. I have information from the outer realm. The ancient demon emperor has escaped from the prison in the upper realm, and the Blood Sea sacrifice demon city has been destroyed. Su Tieshuan's face was grim and his white crane claws were saying, the Su family's shady secrets are exposed. The thunder net at the outer gate suppresses the blood. The helicopter dropped the spiritual veins and hit the red soil with a dong sound. 500 elite armored vehicles lined up with a crack, and a forest of guns hit the ground with a clatter sound. Ye Zhitong's army sealed its seal with a hail of white mist and bullets. His beautiful eyes roared, Fan branch presses the battle. Master Hunter Emperor Wuyo. The Li Shue's shadow led the way and cut through the red mist with a quack. The team went thousands of feet underground, the sea of blood boiled, gulu gulu, green blood waves rolled and sulfur smelled like 10,000 corpses in purgatory. The demonic writings on the wall shone with red light and projected the afterimage of the ancient demon emperor as huge as a mountain and roared, boom. Suddenly, the green eyes of the bull-headed bodies of the 1,000-headed ancient demon guards exploded, and the claw shadows at the peak of the foundation establishment swished, and tens of thousands of emptiness-piercing spiritual pressure crushed the passage. Crapping, the gravel flew, and the wind of rotten blood hit the face and bones. The leader of the guard, with his horns and golden eyes, roared like thunder, the ancient demon emperor has resurrected. The hidden insect offered blood as a sacrifice, and all the spirit veins of the demon city returned to the emperor. Han Zhao's livid face twisted, his chains shook, and his knees were locked, boom, and he roared in despair, Master Brother. The 1,000-headed foundation building peak spirit crushed the war hall. Su Nuan's jade eyes flashed with tears, and the talisman's golden light shrank. Pa bang, the sparks backfired and were powerless. The ultimate talisman cannot withstand the blood wave of the Emperor's guard. Luo Li's demon ear curled up in pain and collapsed in blood. My benefactor, the information is wrong. The bloodline of the Imperial Guard has awakened 10,000 times. Xian Wuji's stiff crane robe was torn in the middle stage of the white beard shrinking golden pill. Sect Master, the ancient demon Imperial Guard suppressed 300 golden pills from the outer realm. Su Tieshuan's crane face twisted and his claws twisted. The wall of the deep pit was smashed with a dong-dong sound, and the throat was clucking with despair. The thunder net of the outer gate was shattered. The entire Su family was sacrificed. The blood wave in the passage swallowed the sky, and everyone's hearts fell into the abyss. The guard's claw shadow, puff, tore through the air and approached the rotten knives to shave their faces. In the night sky, the spiritual pulse suddenly moved, rumbling, and the scroll golden talisman projected a new shadow. The demon emperor's body in the upper realm awakened, and the deep sea of blood in Pudong boiled again. Su Taihun's face fell and he whispered, Sect Master, the final demon shadow. Chu Tian's eyes flashed coldly, and his flying swords roared to gain momentum. Chu Tian's black-robed low-key eyes were filled with cold light, calm as an abyss and scorning the only one in the sky and the earth. His one-sleeved 3-inch flying sword buzzed and exploded with a thunder-patterned silver dragon roaring at 50 times the range. The remote control navigation locked the eyebrows of the 1,000-headed Imperial Guard. Swish, swish, swish. 10,000 swords penetrated the void, ignoring the peak defense of the foundation, and pierced the soul core. Puff, puff, the green blood brain fountain shot into the sky. Han Xiaotia's green eyes were bulging and he was staring with blood. He laughed wildly and the chain revived the 10 auxiliary seals of the remaining soul. Senior brother's divine sword is 50 times stronger. The leader of the battle hall kills the emperor's guard. Su Nuan's jade eyes exploded with soft light and admiration, and the ultimate talisman's 5, buzzing, golden lights exploded through the tunnel, thunder arcs protected the crowd, and the blood wave, pop, the burning smell rose to the sky. Senior brother is invincible. The heavenly veins of the talisman hall are all open. Luo Li's silver hair danced wildly and her demonic ears alerted her blood shadow claws to cut off the leader's horns. Thousands of guards were defeated in an instant. 300 golden elixirs from the outer realm were worshipped. Su Taixun's face twisted and his claws trembled wildly. Sect Master Pingshan. The outer gate's thunder net re-killed and killed instantly. Ye Zhi's beautiful eyes burst into tears with the force of the gun. Whoosh! The bullets rained down on the remaining guards and roared, Master. The army of all branches is invincible. The guard leader's horns were broken, his green eyes were wide-eyed and he was trembling in despair. Flying sword ghost, is the emperor coming back? The soul core blast, bang, and the blood wave retreated into the clear sky, and the scorched green blood steaming mist, steamed around the scene like a purgatory withering. Han Xiao got up on his knees and turned livid with ecstasy. He pulled the chain of the emperor's guard and shattered it with a buzz, cracking the secret scroll of the messenger and projecting the emperor's blood pattern. Senior brother. The secret of the emperor's scroll. The ancient demon emperor's body is imprisoned and locked in the demon emperor's residual thoughts. The source of the blood sea of the descendants of the Su family is now broken. The new shadow of the thunder pattern on the silver edge of the scroll flickers, and Su Nuan's hand drips blood and melts the ultimate talisman. Pa! The red light penetrates into the Tianmaiju. Upgraded, the thunder tribulation talisman was prepared for war. The talisman hall has cracked the imperial lock. The sect is forever solid. Luo Li's demonic ears twitched and whispered with full intelligence, my benefactor, the emperor's corpse under the blood seabed is awakening and pulsing. All the cranes with green eyes and beautiful silver hair gasped loudly and shook the channel, the master's plan. The emperor's guard is instantly destroyed, and the conspiracy collapses. The achievement is as refreshing as a volcanic eruption, and the green mist of the spiritual veins at the edge of the blood sea fades away. Ye Zhi's surrounding army's gun formation clicked with bullets, the white fog and frost in Haikao sizzled with the scorched demon skin, Zhao Qishan's SUV boomed with the edge of the guard, and Wang De's mutated claw roar overwhelmed the formation and roared, Fan branch, hold on. Sect Master Tian Wei. Ran Di Wei Ling the anti-shock armor, Kara, exploded. The elite gasped and vomited blood and knelt down with dong dong. Ye Zhimei's bloodshot eyes melted and the barrel of the gun melted and she gritted her teeth. Master is in desperate situation, the army is shattered. The crowd was in despair. The Imperial Guard laughed wildly with green eyes and wide-eyed claws grabbing the team, Gaga, and their flesh and blood burst. Thousands of thunders exploded in the depths of the sea of blood, and the remnant shadow of the ancient demon emperor with black scales and thousands of feet broke through the waves. His red eyes were like lava, the sun exploded, and the peak pressure of the golden elixir buzzed and crushed the stone of the passage wall. Inch cracked, the rotten emperor's bloody wind mixed with sulfur and rotten odor rushed towards his face like thousands of burning corpses. The magic city's ground shook violently, and the high-rise buildings in Pudong, quack, tilted, neon shattered, and raindrops hit the ground. Mortals screamed, awe, and fled like ants to escape. The black-scaled barbs of the emperor's body swung and whipped up waves of blood hundreds of feet high, swallowing the sky. The horns bent and the golden rings shattered, and the low roar was deafening, insects hidden in the world. The Su family sacrificed the source of the sea of blood, and all the spiritual veins of the demon city belonged to the emperor. The golden elixir reaches its peak with one claw. Shatter your souls. The pressure was like a mountain, and the team's knees smashed with dong dong, and the spiritual pressure backfired and the meridians sizzled and burned. Han Xiaotia's livid face twisted and blood sprayed wildly, the phantom chain's 10 pops sparks backfired and broke his knees, and he could not climb up. He was inconspicuous and rounded. He stared in despair and roared, "Senior brother! The Emperor's true body is at the peak of the golden elixir. The chain of the war hall is shattered and the soul is broken. The magic city has fallen." Su Nuan's jade eyes were filled with tears and blood, and the soft light was extinguished. The ultimate thunder tribulation talisman's hundreds of golden lights shrank and buzzed dimly. The backlash of the jade arm's scorched black flesh rolled up and filled with smelly smoke. "Senior brother, the heavenly vein Jew can't withstand the Emperor's blood. The whole clan of the Talisman Hall is burned." Luo Lian's hair was wet with blood and sweat, the demon ears curled up and howled in pain, the blood shadow claws were broken, green blood flowed backwards, and the heart was twitching. "My benefactor, the intelligence is wrong. The Emperor's corpse has awakened with 10,000 times more blood, and the remnants of the 9 nests are boiling again." Xian Wuji's white beard in the middle stage of the upside-down golden elixir, the dantian exploded lightly with the blood mist fountain. His eyes bulged and trembled wildly. The crane robe tore apart and he roared in regret, "Sect Master, the cloud boat with 300 golden elixirs in the outer domain was instantly destroyed." The ancient demon emperor pressed down on the upper world prison. Su Tieshuan's crane face turned as white as a paper crane and its claws smashed into the deep pit of the sea of blood. The source of sacrifices cannot be cut off. The blood sacrifice of the whole clan to the Emperor is restored. The thunder net in the outer gate shatters the whole city. Ye Zhi's eyes burst with white mist, and the gun barrel melted and dripped iron juice, and 500 elite armored vehicles, Kara, exploded. Zhao Tieshan's SUV rolled and Wang Defa's mutated claw broke and he knelt down with blood and screamed, "The leader is in desperate situation. Fan's army's guns are flying." Chu Tian's black robe wrapped around his body was as low-key as the frost in the abyss, and his eyes were cold and contemptuous of the only one in the world. The 7-inch Dantian volcano in the early stage of the golden elixir was firmly absorbing the afterglow of the sea of blood and spiritual veins and was ready to go. His cold voice was like the rolling thunder of the 9 netherworld, "The ancient demon emperor. The ants are trying to sacrifice the spiritual veins of the demon city. I am the master of the demon hunting sect, and the soul is under the flying sword. Fei Pasan." He flicked the 3-inch flying sword with one sleeve and buzzed and exploded with a 100-fold range of the thunder-marked silver dragon dancing and roaring. The remote control navigated the black scale weakness of the Lock Emperor's eyebrows. Swish, swish, swish. The billions of sword shadows penetrated the void and ignored the peak golden elixir scale armor defense. Puff, 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 puff. The green and black Emperor's blood brain fountain soared thousands of feet into the sky and stained the sea of red blood. The sword shadow rotated and strangled the Emperor's claws, Kara Kara. The black scales broke inch by inch and exploded, causing sparks to fly. The Emperor's red eyes widened with fear and his voice trembled with despair. He roared in despair, "Flying swords, ghosts and gods, can't escape from the prison." The soul core exploded with a bang, and the sea of blood rolled back to the clearing. The sizzling corpse of the scorched emperor was steaming and rotten like a purgatory withered image that shocked the world. Han Xiaotia's green eyes bulged like bells, blood foam turned and he laughed wildly. The chains revived and 20 remnant souls of the auxiliary emperor roared and twisted, "Senior brother's divine sword is 100 times stronger." Han Xiao, the great disciple of the war hall, beheads the ancient demon emperor at the peak of the golden elixir. Su Nuan's jade eyes exploded with admiration, the soft light bloomed like a galaxy, and the ultimate talisman's 100 golden glows, buzzed, soared back and swallowed up the Emperor's blood wave, snap bang, scorched black. The lightning arc soaring to the sky protects everyone as solidly as a mountain, brother, the invincible heavenly veins. The talisman hall will forever solidify the foundation of the sect. Luo Li's silver hair danced wildly and her demonic ears were alert, bursting with joy as her blood shadow claws grasped the emperor's horns and broke. The god of benevolence is the only one. The emperor's conspiracy information is completely shattered, and the blood sea source veins are cut off forever. The sect master instantly revealed his true form as Emperor Ping. The 300 golden elixirs from the outside world worshipped him. Su Tian's face twisted and his claws trembled wildly as he screamed, "The sect leader Pingshan destroys the emperor." Ye Zhi's eyes burst into tears as the white mist and gunfire shook the passage. "Master. The only heavenly sword. The 500 elite armors of all branches are invincible." Zhao Taizhan gasped and knelt down with the butt of his gun and said, "Dang dong. The sect leader Tianwei destroyed the emperor." The green mist of the spiritual veins at the edge of the blood sea disappeared, and the emperor's corpse sank to the bottom and remained silent forever. The silver-edged thunder pattern on the scroll of the heavenly messenger buzzed and absorbed the emperor's blood. The new shadow of the spiritual light projected suddenly flashed. The demon emperor's prison in the upper realm was completely locked. The ancient demon emperor's sacrifice conspiracy collapsed. The source of the blood sea of the descendants of the Su family was permanently cut off, and the demon city's spiritual veins returned to the demon hunting sect. Han Xiao got up on his knees and turned green with ecstasy. He pulled the emperor's broken order and cracked the scroll with the emperor's blood pattern. He roared, "Brother, the magic plan. The scroll is upgraded to the golden elixir chapter, and the demon hunting mission of the sect is cleared." Su Nuan's hand dripped blood and melted into the ultimate talisman. Preparing for the tribulation, the heavenly veins of the talisman hall are fully activated, and senior brother's golden elixir is broken. Luo Li's demonic ears are twitching and the intelligence is fully activated, her silver hair is squirting blood. "My benefactor, the remaining 9 nests of the remnants are completely wiped out, and there are no demons in the depths of Pudong." All the cranes with green eyes, beautiful eyes, and silver hair gasped loudly and shook the sea of blood. The sect leader is invincible. The emperor's plot to destroy the emperor has collapsed, and the devil's capital is safe. However, as he was passing through the tribulation, the sky suddenly boomed. 9 purple thunder tribulation clouds overwhelmed the golden elixir and fell straight into the sea of blood channel. Ye Zhi. The arc-burning sky spirit crushed the wall thousands of meters away. The whole city was shaken by the earthquake. The tall buildings shook. Mortals knelt down and worshipped in whispers. Thunder protects the sect, the hidden hero is overcoming the tribulation. The 7-inch dantian of the prototype boomed, and the volcano erupted to absorb thunder and nutrients. He sneered and scorned, "Heavenly tribulation. Under the thunder tribulation amulet, I am the only one who is the only one." Su Nuan's jade arm threw out the ultimate thunder tribulation talisman with 5, buzzing, golden awns and the heavenly meridian technique. Han Xiaotia's green eyes widened and the chain guard laughed wildly. "Senior brother is invincible after the tribulation. The battle hall rises with the tribulation." Zuanwuji Su Tieshuan's crane claws trembled and kowtowed. The master absorbs the sky thunder and the golden elixir is perfected. The tribulation cloud dissipated the spiritual energy and surged around Chu Tian. The prototype of the golden elixir surged 9 inches and became perfect in the midterm. The flying sword thunder patterns are forever invincible, and the momentum is like a heavenly sword that dominates and despises the earthly dignitaries. When the team returned to Pudong Square, the neon lights reignited and the stars poured down. The blood-stained gravel was sizzling with residual warmth. The golden scales of Shantian Zhou's wreckage cooled the deep pit. The Su family's political and commercial helicopters were booming, circling and sprinkling golden dust, and the whole city was brightly lit. 500 mortal elite armored vehicles lined up and knelt down and banged their gun butts. Wang Defa's mutated claws trembled and he wiped his tears and shouted, "The suzerain will destroy the emperor and overcome the tribulation. The city bureau cellar formation and the base network will be solid for the whole city." Ye Zhi's eyes worshipped the Tai Zhidong army with tears. Whispered, Master's golden elixir is perfect, all branch iron guard demons have no worries. Han Xiao's chain buzzed and vibrated 30 times, and he laughed wildly. Han Xiao, the chief disciple of the War Hall, is the first to collect 300 golden elixirs in the outer realm. Su Nuan's jade arm caressed the blood stains on Chu Tian's black robe. Her soft eyes flashed with soft light. Senior brother Yongzuan, the talisman Hall 1000 refining Tian, my sect is immortal. Luo Li's silver hair was scattered and her demon ears trembled slightly as she kowtowed, legendary of the benefactor. The chief of intelligence offered to clear the entire city of demon nests. Su Tieshuan's crane-faced and kowtowed deeply with its crane claws. Dong Dong, Sect Master Ping Di. The Su family's Qianzhou Foundation political and business network Pudong's spiritual veins are dedicated. Chu Tian's black-robed eyes scanned the crowd with a low-key look. He flipped the heavenly messenger's scroll with one palm. The gold-rimmed thunder pattern was roaming around with a buzzing sound, and the demonic city's clear demon shadows were all wiped out. He thundered in a cold voice, the demon-hunting sect has been established, and the demonic capital's spiritual veins have returned to the sect. The 3 elders of Xiantian are in charge of the 1,000 golden pills of the outer realm, and Su Tieshuan assists in politics and business. The whole city was thundered. Han Xiao, Ye Zhi, Su Nuan loyally suppressed the intelligence of the War Hall Talisman fan branch, and the rest of the people expanded their base and swept away the remaining party. After saying this, the spiritual pressure exploded in the square, and the wind and blood mist dispersed. The cranes with green eyes and silver hair gasped and knelt deeper. Trembling, the sect master's holy plan. Political and business helicopters protect the entire city alliance. The elite armor suppresses the demons of the family. Su Nuan threw 1,000 talismans and the golden light was strong, the talisman hall's heavenly veins are fully activated. Luo Li's blood shadow claw point projection, information is clear on all the demon caves in the city. Zhao Taizhan and Wang Defa roared, the whole city is destroyed by the lightning net. Immortal cultivators from the alliance mobilized in large numbers, Xiantian Yunzhou was repaired and thousands of ships were booming to tear up the night sky. Su family economics and business thunder network was buzzing to expand throughout the demonic city. Outland 1,000 gold pill War Hall chain bullet rain talismans were firing, swish swish snap snap sizzling. And the 99 acupoints of the remnant party's demon lair, boom, were instantly extinguished and the green blood. Steaming mist shrouded the scene like a withered star. Mortal passers-by hit the neon lights with their knees, dong dong, blood blurred on their foreheads, and screams turned to fanaticism, monster hunting sect leader. The legend of the savior of the devil's capital. The lights of the high-rise buildings filled the air with spiritual energy, as fresh as wine, and the sect swept through the devil's capital with abundant fruits and became famous throughout the world. On top of the Independence Square in Chu Tian's black robe looking at the night sky, the golden shadow of the scroll flashed with new suspense, the cracks in the prison of the demon king of the upper world moved slightly, and he faintly roared, hidden heavenly sword. The demon city is just the starting point. However, tonight the demon city is at peace, and I am the only one who is as happy as the sky is shattering, and the legend is in the ascendant. However, in the depths of the sea of blood, there was a sudden, rumbling sound like thousands of thunders. The huge afterimage of the ancient demon emperor broke out of the sea. His black scales were as red as the blood sun. The peak of the golden elixir of terror crushed the entire passage and the walls collapsed. The rotten emperor's bloody wind swallowed the sky and the demon city was shaken. The high-rise buildings in Pudong were extinguished and mortals screamed. Su Tieshuan's crane eyes widened and he roared in despair, Sect Master, the ancient demon emperor's true form has awakened. Chu Tian's eyes flashed with cold light, his flying sword roared and charged 50 times, and the spiritual pulse in the night sky shrouded the demon city.